Now.
Already on the internet.
Let it fly, Cabbage Man.
All right, so as I was saying to the group, we will not have Seao joining us this evening. He has some real-world shit he has to deal with, and as I always say, real-world shit, unfortunately, comes first. So I'm not even going to roll tonight. Kurtanis, why don't you fill us in
Oh, shit.
what happened
Shit.
last session?
Okay.
You have been chosen.
Yes. So we started out basically just finishing the first part of our combat in this terrible drow palace of the Dryder Empress Iruha. We had decided to go up the stairs, deal with the next level, which involved the priestess to the spider goddess Lolth. It did not go as well as the first floor, like at all. Like terribly. So it took us quite a while, especially considering that we found out that the Dryder herself ended up coming down to deal with the fight and was invisible for almost the entire fucking time, and we couldn't see her or hit her or do anything forever. And I'm pretty sure, okay, at least like 2 or 3 times, maybe 4 times each for Fyke and Cardana's going down, coming back up. But Fyke got to be fucking awesome, and number 1 used the blessing of the herd to stampede the fuck out of the Dryder, and then also got the kill blow. So he is truly the bringer of light, the bearer of light. And so after all of that was completed, ended up with Sinimo, the actual Drow Empress otherwise, picking up the crown of the Spider Queen off the floor. Luckily, Noxus managed to talk her out of using it or doing anything but giving it to him. So he took it, managed to not also put it on, put it away. Shengo got Cortanis back up. She immediately gets pulled by the presence of one of her blades to another matching blade on the bed, which she grabs, and everything goes white. And that is where we left off right after the flash.
Dun, da, da, da.
I think there was some more of the flash, wasn't there?
We will, as we pick things back up, for all of you, it's just like a flashbang went off minus the sound. So it was just a moment of like blinding white light for everyone. Well, almost everyone. As you all kind of like, it's like being in pitch black and then someone flicking on the lights as your eyes adjust. Except the opposite. As your eyes adjust to the darkness, relative dim light, you kind of look around yourselves.
Cortaz is just staring off kind of into the distance on the other side of the bed with just like crying with like mixed with the blood from all the shit to go off, and just kind of like seeming to go through a gazillion emotions all at once, and is just like muttering to herself and not really focused. It's just, this is what God's where is Nerul. No. Anything, everything, just what? Melora. Wherefore? What magic is this? What are you saying? Daughter? Severin! And then she just, it seems like a thread is cut, and she just kind of slumps down to her, like crashes to her knees, and then slumps against the side of the bed she's standing next to, and just out.
I'm
over
instantly going to try to put out the fire.
What, the fire?
Yeah, the bed was like on fire last session.
Well, yeah, I mean, without too much effort, there's no danger at the moment. You put out the fire. As you guys all rush over to Cortanis' side, Sinimo confidently strides towards the body of Iruha, takes out her, already has her Cortana blade out, grabs her by the hair as she's like impaled on the headboard, and with 3 kind of like hacking chops removes the head of Iruha.
I want to check if Cortanis is conscious and breathing.
Make a medicine check. As you're doing that, she walks out to the balcony and yells out into the to the square out there, where you can hear the murmuring. It sounds like people have gathered. And she screams out, which I'm not going to scream, but she yells out, "Witness me! I have reclaimed what is rightfully mine and was stolen from me by trickery. Spread the word that the Empress, the true Empress, has returned." And she takes the head of Aruha and throws it over the balcony onto the courtyard.
I clap at the performance.
You're not there, technically.
Oh, right, you went
You, at the end of last
that's
session, stepped on the teleportation pad.
That's right.
And we're down on the second floor, looting the body of the priestess. As Shango, with your 18 medicine check, she's breathing. She seems not too worse for wear. Like, obviously, she looks pretty rough because you guys have just been through the ringer. But she is stable. She just looks exhausted. As a matter of fact, Cortana, you have a point of exhaustion.
Okay.
She just looks exhausted and kind of like passed out.
I will try to arrange her a little bit so she sits somewhat comfortably in her typical sleeping position, resting against the bed.
Okay. You do so.
Well, if they didn't know what we did before, they do now. So, kind of hard to miss that.
Certainly.
I mean, she kind of destroyed some of the evidence by tossing it out of a very high third-story window.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna go collect my daggers.
Yeah. You go collect your daggers.
I look very sternly at Noxus. Noxus, the crown, if you please. And I hold out my hand.
I don't have it. It's in the bag. Here, you can have the bag.
I'll grab the bag of holding from him.
Okay.
Hey, seriously, don't fucking take it out. Like, that shit talks to you. Makes you want to put it on. Don't do it. I'm telling you, do not touch that thing.
It might be the case for you.
Well, that's why I'm giving you the bag.
So you're just taking the bag, not the actual... You're not taking the crown out, Shango?
Not for now, no.
Okay. Sinimo turns on a heel from as you hear some half-hearted cheers come from outside. Okay. As she kind of turns on a heel. She turns on a heel and marches back into the room. At that point, you watch as... oh, I'm sorry. No, that's not. We cut to Biero on the second floor. As you're walking over to the priestess to loot her body, make a hearing-based perception check for me.
Okay.
19. You hear the sounds of many armored feet, boots, coming up the stairs from across the room.
We'll step back on the teleportation pad.
All right. So you step back on the teleportation pad.
And then I'll tell everybody we've got...
As you appear on the teleportation pad, you see now for the first time, you see Iruha's headless body impaled on the smoldering headboard of the large bed. You see Sinimo is coming back from the the balcony covered in gore. You can see Shango kind of taking the bag of holding from Noxus as he is on like a knee next to Cortanus, who is unconscious on the ground, still grasping the two blades. As Fike is finishing putting out the fire on the bed and collecting his daggers. And Seao has just kind of put his weapons away and is kind of leaning against that bookshelf there as you appear in the room.
Everyone, I think we got company. I can see you took care of business in here. Good job. Get ready.
Friend or foe?
Hard to say. I didn't stay to find out.
Well, we're kind of all spent right now, and Cortanus is AWOL. So
Sanemo steps forward and says, "Worry not. They come for me. I am restored to my rightful place, and they will do as I say." She kind of steps forward to here. Biro, do you stay on the teleport pad?
No, I'll step off of it. And give her like differentially stand aside.
Sayao kind of moves back to here. Suddenly, like 6 elite drow warriors come through the teleport pad, and in formation, kind of like come up towards the Empress, and are just kind of. They take like, unless one of you speaks, they kind of take 15 seconds to kind of like survey what the fuck is going on, as Sanemo just kind of like stands there like a badass bitch covered in gore, looking at them like, why haven't you taken a knee yet? And they kind of see that look on her face, and you watch as they all kind of like resheath their blades and drop to their knee in front of her and say, "All hail Empress Sanemo Sulume, the rightful Empress of Lemnele."
damn, that actually worked. That was pretty fucking cool.
Oh, that could have gone worse.
Indeed.
She says, "Now, stand and make yourselves useful. These 6 are heroes of the kingdom and are to be treated as such. Take them to their own private quarters to be cared for. And send the council here. I need to converse with them." She turns and walks over to her vanity over here, as she looks at all of you. Before she gets there, as she gets there, she turns around before she sits down to look at all of you and says, "Worry not, you've upheld your end of the bargain, and I am a woman of my word. You'll be well cared for, and when the time comes, well rewarded for your service to my crown. And, as I promised, we will provide you with safe passage out of the Underdark."
Oh, what gratitude you have.
I bow deeply.
Thank you.
I ostentatiously bow, kind of obnoxiously, but very grateful.
She says, "Thank you. But for now, I have some matters of state to take care of. Will you need help with her? I will be sure to send our finest healers."
Oh, we can handle it. I think we got this.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're
With
good.
that, she waves her hand at the 6 elite guard, and she turns and sits down at the vanity as they all kind of like part for you to enter the teleportation circle.
I'll try to pick up Katanas and carry her out.
She's not that heavy. You're able to do so. Still grasping.
Shango strong.
Still grasping her blades, kind of laying
White
across
knuckle.
her chest. You notice now for the first time as you're picking her up, Shango, that her blades that she came with are not there anymore. However, the 2 blades that she holds also don't look like they did before the white flash. They're longer, and they have some of the aesthetics of her old blades.
Okay. Yeah, I'll note that to myself for now and think of it for later.
Alrighty.
Before we leave,
Yeah.
like kind of everybody just walks out, and I'm like one of the last people out. I'll kind of like turn around and just be like, Empress, I know I've been kind of a nuisance, but I'm really happy that everything worked out, and just wish you luck.
She stands up from the vanity and turns and looks at you and says, "It is true you have been a nuisance, but a resourceful and useful nuisance. I wish you the best in your future endeavors. Don't worry, this is not the last time we will see each other." As she turns and sits back down at her vanity, beginning to try and clean some of the gore from de-heading the drider off of herself.
And as she turns, I actually bow, not obnoxiously.
Yeah.
And I will leave.
Yep. You guys are escorted out of the tower into one of the adjacent towers to very posh suite that you imagine is probably for visiting dignitaries. There are 3 rooms off of the main common area, each with 2 bedrooms, or each with 2 beds. And as you arrive there, there are already both physicians and clerics there to aid in any healing that you may wish. If you would like to refuse it, you can, but they offer to heal anybody in what capacity they can.
I want to drop katanas in the first bed that we have, the first bedroom that's closest.
Okay.
And I'll look to one of the healers. Please ensure her vitals are stable. And then sit down across from the bed like she usually does. Basically switching roles like she usually does when I'm sleeping.
Okay.
And start meditating.
The cleric walks up to you. Cortanus, you are unconscious, so you are unaware of this. But she will cast a 5th level Cure Wounds on you.
5 levels.
And roll like absolute dog shit. Wow, that's a 7, 8, 9, 15 whopping points of healing from a 5th level Cure Wounds. Yeah, it was bad. She's gonna feel a little embarrassed by that, and she's gonna go ahead and pump a 4th level into you as well.
Do I notice that it failed spell?
All ones.
No, much better this time. 24 points of healing additionally. Do any of you other clowns request healing?
I do.
Maggots.
I do.
No, Noxus?
Yes,
All right.
please.
Alright, you get 4th level Cure Wounds. 10, 19 plus 5, so 24. You get 24 hit points back. Who else wanted some?
24 hit points back. Thank you very much.
Biero. You get a 4th level Cure Wounds. 10, 17, 18, 23 points of healing for you, Biero.
That helps.
Fike, do you reject healing when they go to offer it to you?
Don't do it, Fike. Take
If they have a 7th level spell,
They do not have a 7th level spell. No.
Take it.
Fine, heal me.
All right, so they each give you a 3rd level because there's 2 of them. 9, 10, 11, 16, and 13 plus 5, 18.
Yeah, let's go.
Shango, you were basically untouched in that fight, weren't you?
Up until the last minute when I lost basically everything.
Oh, so you're hurt as well? All right,
Yeah.
so you'll get a pair of
But
3rd levels as well.
I will say, please spend your energy on her.
She'll be fine, please. Mistress commanded that you be taken care of. Ooh, that's the best roll I've done so far. 16, 22, 27 from a 3rd level cure wounds.
That's not bad.
And I know. And then another 15 from another 3rd level cure wounds.
I didn't hear the first number. What was it?
27.
27.
27 and 15?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once they see that your wounds are mostly sealed up and everything, there are 6 hot baths drawn, 2 in each room. And there are servants made available to wash you should you wish it.
I will avail myself of that.
So Biero disappears into one of the rooms with Sao as the 2 of them go into their nice hot baths, like old, like Western style, almost like big, like copper tubs, almost that have to be filled up. There's not like a pipe system, obviously, so they have to they literally heat the water up over a fire and then dump it into the thing. But it has like the little. It has like the higher area that you lean up against in the back. It has a little like tray that goes across the front. There is drink and other mind-altering substances provided should you wish to imbibe of them. And there are beautiful
black.
There are beautiful both male and female drow servants to service you.
Does he put a sock on the door?
The door is closed behind them as they go in.
Scrunchy.
Or you can just take the bath and clean yourself if you'd like. But
No, I'll avail myself of the servants.
yes, you enjoy yourself thoroughly. You are well taken care of.
If I'm sharing,
Fill in
if I'm
whatever fantasies you would like.
If I'm sharing a room with someone, no. If I have a room to myself,
Whose magical realm
then yes,
are we
I will.
entering tonight?
No, you're probably
Well,
sharing a room with me because I think you
Probably sharing a room with
Yeah.
Nox because Cortanis and Shango are probably in the same
Yeah.
room, and she's unconscious on a bed.
So Noxus is like after he hears the word bath, he goes and he takes a bath, but he's like he wants to be secluded and alone. Like
Okay.
he's got a lot on his mind.
I mean, Nox, you could tell me to buzz off instead of just ignoring me for the past 20 minutes. It's fine.
Oh, well, he's sitting in the tub, but he's like,
Yeah, you guys aren't like looking at each other in the tub. You're all like on opposite sides of the room.
No, I want us like 5-year-olds taking a bath together, and I'm staring him right in his eyes.
If you'd like to
Just show
drag
Heather
your
his ass
tub
first. Who's
over
gonna
closer
show?
to his tub, you can fight.
I will drag my tub. I
make,
want it like
make an athletics check.
what was that movie with Owen Wilson and Jackie Chan?
oh, Wild West movie.
Yeah.
Shaolin.
Shanghai Nights. Shanghai.
Shanghai Nights.
No, not Shanghai Nights.
Shanghai Noon.
Yeah, Shanghai Noon. I
Yeah.
love that movie.
It's a struggle. Like you have to. It's like you're like making that noise as it like noisily. The rest of you can hear it, and it takes like a solid 90 seconds for him to get it like 10 feet.
I'll eventually come up and help him.
And it's like that. Like everything just kind of like stops as everyone just kind of like waits for the noise to stop coming from the other room until it finally does, and then they all just go back to whatever they were doing.
Are you done yet?
A very unsettling. Oh, what?
We'll come back to you guys in a second. Shango, in your room, They offer you the bath behind one of those like dividers if you'd like it, because they tell you that they're going to the two female servants are going to clean Cortanis and clean her wounds specifically, and they'll have to remove some of her clothes to do that.
Yeah, I'll refuse the bath for now and sit watch like outside the divider.
Okay.
And while I'm sitting there, I want to meditate and pray to Court. Essentially going along the lines of a difficult journey is past us and in front of us. Cortanis is a servant of yours, if not directly, by extension through me. Please watch out over her. We are in need of your guidance and service as the what's her name? The other name for Tiamat, the Dragon Queen.
Oh, the Scaled Tyrant.
The Scaled Tyrant, as the Scaled Tyrant sends her claws over our allies. I do hope you can show us the way.
Are you proficient in religion?
I believe so, yes.
You can if you could please make a charisma-based religion check for me.
Let's go.
Charisma-based religion.
So if you're proficient in religion, it'll be your charisma plus for your proficiency.
Yeah. So that's a charisma roll, then proficiency is 3, so that would be 19 total.
19. As you're kind of like sitting at the edge of the tub, you feel as you're kind of like sitting at the edge of the tub, so you're not staying, you're just kind of like leaning up against it, and as you take your hands from in front of you in almost like a praying position and put them like on the edge of the metal tub, you get that sensation of like when you like scuff your feet across the carpet and touch a doorknob.
Yeah,
like a little zzz, in your finger.
I
Yeah.
I smile upon that.
With that, we diagonal wipe back to Noxus and Fike. What's going on over there?
I eventually get into the tub now that I'm also sweaty now for moving a tub.
Yeah. You're already sweaty. So.
I really... Well, yeah,
Knox
I finally
has
got
kind of just been staring into the nothingness. But like even when he was pulling the
tub over,
the tub over, like Knox never broke contact with the water and just
like
plane of the
daydreaming,
water.
like staring off into space, like
yeah,
staring at a spot on the wall, like there's actually something there when there's not.
Yeah,
yeah, I gotcha.
You're right, big guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I did not like that crown. I don't want to be anywhere near it.
You did a good thing. You got it in our hands, which is what we needed.
But what if I didn't? What if I put it on?
I mean, Nox, the point of it is that you didn't. It says more about your character than anything. I don't want to give you the whole speech about gods because I know you've said out loud that that's kind of dumb, but I had faith in you that you were going to do the right thing, and you didn't disappoint me. And I know that's probably not worth the copper pieces that it took to fucking hear that sentence, but you did really good, man.
Hey, Fike.
Yeah.
So,
Can you teach me how to pray? I mean, I saw you kind of do it before we went in, killed that thing, and kind of thought about like what my mom used to do, and I kind of want to believe in something a lot more than what I do right now.
Sure. I'm, but don't. I'm going to. If I give you a lesson, I don't want you to feel inclined to give yourself to Sarenrae. I'm not trying to convert you or anything like that. It's putting your thoughts onto the ether and just letting the universe kind of take hold of you, and you being this little insignificant grain of sand amongst the beach. But let me dry off, and I'll since he's like focused on like that one point in the wall, I'm just gonna quickly like roll out of the bath and like crawl to like wherever the towels are,
Parkour.
so he doesn't see my pale white.
There's actually like a little tray across that's like across where you would sit that has like a soap and like a brush to get your back, and like there's like a towel there, and like hanging towel racks off to the side are big fluffy towels and bathrobes, like full on Beverly Hills hotel fluffy white.
Living the good life.
Yeah.
I try for roughly 6 seconds to get it with Mage Hand, and then after failing miserably,
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not working.
It's gone.
But I mean, do you
least
want
for
to do
7
it right
days.
now? Yeah, while you're in the bath, or do you want to do it later
Yes.
tonight?
I want to do it right now.
Okay. So I'll wrap myself up, and I'll take the symbol of Sarenrae, and I hand the symbol of Sarenrae to Nox, and I go. I usually just use this as kind of like a focus point, as something that like. I mean, you could shut your eyes.
He closes his eyes.
And you don't have to say it out loud, but in your mind, I just want you to open yourself up to something greater and stronger than yourself, and just let it know that you're there. And
Go ahead, finish.
you're not supposed to get a response. That's what faith is knowing that even with no recognition that you're calling out to this being, that you are just putting yourself out there. And I'll just give him a few feet.
All right, and with that, with you guys kind of like we kind of like fade, like pull back on an image of the two of you like praying together, and we diagonal wipe back to Shango and Cortanus's room. Cortanus, make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Dun dun dun.
13. Roll a. No, I'll roll. All right. Would you please? Could I have everyone else jump into secrets for me?
Sure.
D&D Beyond.
As they leave.
All right. So, in your unconscious state, in the darkness, in your the empty black of your overloaded mind, eventually there is a small bead of light in the distance. It appears to be getting closer as you kind of lift your head up, look around, sit up. It's almost like that like divining scry place that 11 goes in
I haven't seen it, but
Stranger Things. It's just like so in the Matrix, that white like
Yes.
just it's that but black.
Okay.
But so just darkness. And you're just kind of like standing this point in space. You can't really see a floor, but you're laying on something. And you kind of sit up, see the light in the distance. And when you stand up, there are two figures towering over you, standing in front of you. One is clad in jet black robes, covering her almost like a burqa, with a white porcelain face and a mantle of raven feathers. The individual next to her, them, you can't really tell, but is a equal in size, but a dark-skinned, um, black curly hair. Imagine Beyonce dressed as Mother Nature for cosplay. Greens and golds, like Roman-style robes with the ropes tied. Her hair running almost down her back like a veil, with like a golden like leaf circlet around her head, with a warm, inviting smile on her face. And they just kind of look down at you.
Just kind of looking between, surprised by this, not quite sure. Thou art. What is this? I doth not understand.
You're sitting up, and they both kind of reach down with their massive hands, and kind of pick you up and set you on your feet, and stand back up. And they look back down at you, and the one in black robes says, "Your sacrifice and current servitude were born out of a place of generosity."
No.
The woman in gold and green looks down at you and says, "Generosity is something that I like to reward. My companion and I are the opposite sides of the same coin. Your servitude you bear as a sacrifice, so that she may be where she is."
Looking over to the other one. Wait. Vision. Look.
I understand you're confused. The one in black says, "That person no longer exists."
Said some sort of magic casting off. I doth not understand why. Wherefore.
Much has yet to be revealed. Try not to strain yourself. The woman clad in, the being clad in black says. The being in the green and gold robes says, "Your soul is being pulled on by too many magical forces.
Too many. I doth not understand. Wherefore wouldst... I am nothing.
Perhaps once. No longer.
Longer.
The woman clad in black, or the figure clad in black, waves her hand in front of you, almost blocking your vision. And as she does, as the hand clears out of the way, they are now on the same level as you, about your height, and standing in front of you next to one another. Try to understand. I know your mind is spinning at the moment. There are too many magical forces pulling on your soul. Divine, arcane. It does not sit right with my domain.
Domain.
Fate. You cannot serve more than one master. With that, the woman in green and gold speaks up and says, I am the only entity that can help you with this problem. Everything has an opposite. Everything has an equal. What you created with your sacrifice, an offer, can only be put back into balance by its opposite. You must serve one master. And now, you serve three. The wielder of the deck, the Raven Queen, and your lord.
Raven Queen. I'm looking at the other one.
The one in gold and green turns and looks at the other one.
Twas what happened. Nerul is gone?
Has been for quite some time. Worry
Looking
not.
between the two. Yeah, she kneels in front, realizing exactly, like, call kind of like, oh shit, gods. Just takes a knee.
Worry not, you made the right decision. At least from our perspective.
I thought so, but I was... 'Twas my penance. I shouldst have been there, and I was not, and...
The Raven Queen just kind of like puts her hand up and as if to like dismiss your regret, but not in a disdainful way, but a come child, like understand your limitations. And she the one in green and gold says, if you would like, we can work towards your soul coming under my keeping. If we can be successful at this, perhaps your servitude and bond to the deck can be broken. Think on this, if it is something path you wish to walk down. With that, she reaches out and touches your forehead, and you just fall backwards into blackness, and suddenly come to consciousness on the bed in the room.
Oh boy.
You
Having a good
are
conversation.
yes. You are
Hello.
on a bed, in different clothes than you were wearing before. The clothes have a very drow underdarky aesthetic. All of your wounds have been bandaged. Your eye bandage is gone, has been cleaned thoroughly, and is replaced with a cool-looking, just black standard eye patch.
Right, I get to match now. Yeah, just kind of like peeks up at the ceiling for a bit and then just quickly sits up.
You're in a room with you're on a bed. There's another bed about the same size on the same wall as the bed yours is on, but probably 5 feet away. And you can sense there's someone on the other side of like one of those like foldable room dividers. And there's a what looks like still steaming copper tub bath off to one side of your bed.
What is this? What?
Shango, from behind the divider, you hear Cortanus has come to consciousness.
I immediately jump up and go like, what is it, Kool-Aid Man through the divider.
Oh yeah!
Oh
no!
It's like
Oh, yeah.
wide-eyed.
You jump up and like bump into the divider and try to catch it before it falls, but it collapses to the ground, making a loud bang as you just kind of like stand there and are now eyes as Cortanus turns around, still sitting up on the bed, and sees you.
My lord, art thou all right?
I am, but I must.
Your ribs are very sore, Cortanus.
Yeah.
I must return the question. What has transpired?
Transpired. If everything, nothing. First, art thou all right? Is everyone? Is everyone?
Do not worry about me or the rest. We are all safe now.
Good. My lord, she's gonna quickly try to like move off like the bed, like shift her legs, try to stand up.
Please.
Yeah, you can stand up.
Please.
You got quite a bit of healing in you, and you've been resting for a bit. By the way, you guys can all count that as a short rest, so if you'd like to roll hit dice, you may.
Oh, good.
I think I rolled one in there too.
I think I'll roll a couple.
Do that. So quickly. Where's my hit dice?
Good rolls, jeez. Wow, 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 wow.
14, 27. Okay.
I will roll another.
That's fine. Okay. Then yeah, she's gonna kind of like walk Shango's way and just kind of like trying to focus a little bit and her head.
Please take your time. We are in no immediate danger. We shall recover.
My lord, I am. Allow me. And she's just going to like take the knee in front of him and like lower her head. Just trying to think for a moment. My designation is Cortanus, and thinking to herself for a moment, she eventually kind of like slowly lifts her head and starts to push herself up and look over at him. But my name was Pernell, Knight of House Rosen, 5th House of the Kingdom of Theranor.
I'll give her a bow and like a tip of the imaginary hair. I am very pleased to meet you again. For now.
I doth not know wherefore, but I remember more than I should. Figures and Laura and one called the Raven Queen.
Does Shango recognize the Raven?
Yeah, she's a deity
Yeah, okay.
of the pantheon.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how widely.
As someone proficient in religion, you would, I mean, at least know the basic
yeah.
that the Raven
Gotcha.
Queen is one of the prime deities, and her domains are the transition of life, like the transition from life to death, the natural transition from life to death, fate, and winter.
Ooh, winter.
I'll look at her for a second, puzzled, and then suddenly, like a sort of a small light bulb comes up. Wait, she's mentioned him to him before, right?
And
sorry.
Melora, obviously. Melora, obviously, is the Wild Mother, whose domains are obviously nature, the weather, and particularly summer, and the forests and the animals and the plants and the trees and the bees and all that stuff.
Remind the player real quick, because I forgot. I think Cortana had mentioned her brother to him a while ago.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So he looks quizzically for a second, and then it's like the little bed was like, "Your memory has returned. Is your brother included?"
Kind of like pauses that and just kind of presses a hand. Tis most. I doth not understand. The one called the Raven Queen said that Sebron no longer exists. But something happened. I saw something after.
I pressed too hard.
No.
So rest, and we will linger more on the matter. Do you require any nourishment?
You are very hungry, Gertanus.
Yeah, just like at that moment, like her stomach growls and just kind of like
it's that moment after having to like not eat for 24 hours for like a medical procedure. You're suddenly able to eat again, and you just kind of like come out of the anesthesia, and you're like, God damn it, I'm hungry.
Perhaps.
And then I rush to the door and throw it open and look immediately for food or a servant.
Yes. So as you guys come out of your bedroom, the rest of you, the four of you, have been out in the common room for a while now. There is quite the spread of food, freshly prepared, delicious food and drink out here. It's been a couple hours, and you guys had been waiting to see how things were going with Cortanus as Shango and Cortanus come out of the bedroom door as you guys are all stuffing your faces with delicious food.
Food, a kingdom for food! And I run up to the nearest plate and grab it, maybe even out of someone's hand if they're close by.
You just like run up to Noxus, he just grabs the plate out of your hand, like as you take a big bite of like, something that looks like a turkey leg. He just kind of like grabs them both out of your hand and gives them to Cortanus.
She's been watching that entire. Just he ran up, like looking between them, seeing everyone seems to be okay, and then just kind of like eventually kind of smiles to herself until Shango turns back around with the plate and just go, "Oh, thank thee, my lord."
Yes, many subterranean vegetables and steamed mushrooms and different kinds of cooked meats.
The mushroom medley is really good.
Just gonna slowly walk over and sit down with everyone. I'm glad that
I will grab something else and start eating.
Yeah, there's plenty of food there.
Right. Yeah, I realized what I just did and looked kind of embarrassed for a second. But
All right, she was almost dead. I get it.
Wine. Is there wine?
There is no wine as they don't have grapes down here.
Wine?
But that absinthe.
Absinthe.
Green
Oh, shit, absinthe.
liquid is there. If you, and there's also just water if you prefer that.
Absinthe. Absinthe. I need it.
It's not actually called absinthe.
What's it called?
Whatever that
It was,
shit
made out
is.
of, it was made out of that green mushroom.
It
Green
is
mushroom?
actually called. It is called zeal.
Zeal. Let me get some zeal, please.
You drink some.
Oh, heck yes.
Not ecto cooler.
Make a Constitution saving throw. It kind of looks like cooler.
Yes!
7.
Let's go!
I
I was waiting for this. I want to get drunk.
Right in the mashed potatoes.
Watch it be.
So roll a d4.
Oh no! Please tell me I see a green fairy.
Nope.
Oh boy,
I want to see a green fairy though.
4. So
Oh, boy,
what's
that's not
6
good.
times 4?
Just don't fight
28.
it.
Ah!
28, right?
24.
Times 4.
24. You are paralyzed. Your muscles seize for 24 seconds.
Oh god.
Jeez.
But it feels like 5 minutes. Like everything is in just slow motion. You just watch. You can still move your eyes around, and it just looks like everyone's moving in slow motion.
Wait, can I talk still?
No, you can't.
Is Noxus
But for the
alright?
rest of you, it's about 24 seconds.
Thank God.
Dude, are you okay?
After the 24 seconds goes by, you kind of catch back up, I guess, time-wise, Noxus, and this wave of euphoria just kind of like comes over you as you just kind of like lean back in your comfy chair.
Stuff, man. Mike, you need to drink this. It's so good. I haven't felt this good in a long time.
You also suffer a point of exhaustion.
We're taking long rests. We are all not having what happened to Pike. Again.
Excuse you. I was
It
haunted.
also goes for you.
I was haunted by a fucking night hag. I do not just lose my shit in a swill.
So it appears everyone is fine, Cortanus, and are not the worse for wear.
Yeah, just watching him just eventually like chuckles to herself and then has to kind of hold her ribs.
Yeah. Laughing is not something you want to do
No.
the rest of the day.
No.
But it sort of is.
Is there any like untouched roast chicken?
You're not sure what the meat is, but it tastes good.
Is there anything with a cavity? Is what I'm trying to ask.
With a what?
With like
You're
a
trying to make a
stuffed,
turducken?
like, no, I'm just asking if there's anything with like an open cavity in it.
Sure.
Please don't make a hand puppet.
All right. Yeah,
It's
I'm going
some sort
to.
of
I'm going
animal
to.
that's on a spit.
All right, I'm going to take my hand. I'm going to put it into the cavity, and I'm just going to wave at Cortanus with the animal on the little nose.
Yeah. You hope it's a pheasant, but that's what you'd hope it would be. Make an intelligence check.
Is it actually like a
Oh my god.
This is going to go well. Woo!
You hope it's a pheasant.
I'm no longer certain Fike is alright.
I think his wits have passed us. Have left us.
What could it be?
Everybody have a good bath? We fucking need.
I sure did.
Yeah.
Just like perking up at the thought of a bath for the first time in how long?
Seao's just over in a big armchair with his feet up on an ottoman and his hands kind of behind his head with a stupid grin on his face.
Yeah.
Eating some meat right off the bone.
Sal, you gotta try this, man. You gotta try this.
He's already had like 3 cups.
Oh, dang!
That was a fucking
Hardy!
He's just off. He's like,
Yeah. I've secretly been making con rolls for him, and he's doing well.
Back to the
He's feeling pretty good right now about life.
Nice.
back to the point
There's
at
a big
hand.
stupid grin on his face.
So
Say
I'm
out.
actually not drinking that much. Just want to
Yep.
keep my wits about me.
Yeah,
So-
avoiding that.
Cortanas, you got a nice new sword there. Let's see.
Oh, yeah. She kind of like, I don't know. Does she even have the? I mean, I assume she kept them with her walking out, but
They were they were sheathed on your like belt next to your bed. I assumed you put them on.
oh yeah.
Before you came out.
And so it's nighty, and then
No, she's wearing like
Whoa.
almost like what's the word I'm looking for? Those like high collared like Asian shirts, like silk shirts with like the big toggle buttons.
kimono.
Yep.
Not
Oh,
a kimono,
A kimono.
but like
oh yeah,
no.
one of the like not
Like a
Cheongsam, but
kung fu guy wears them.
Yeah, they're like the kung fu
Yeah.
guys wear.
A gi.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
like a
it's
gi,
sort of
yeah.
like a gi, yeah. But it doesn't like fold over in the front. It has like a toggles, like these toggle buttons up the front.
It's
and
like a
has,
Chinese.
high-
It's like a Chinese shirt.
Yeah,
Chinese,
like
it's a
I don't know what the
Chinese
actual
shirt.
name of it is, but she's wearing something like that, and it feels like it's made out of some sort of silk. And same with the pants.
5 gold to whoever in chat figures that out. What Bill's talking about.
yeah, who knows?
I don't know what the official name of it is. Like Bruce Lee wore them all the time.
Yeah, she's gonna kind of peek down at that and kind of put her hands on the hilts. And, yes, yeah,
They are longer,
different.
a little bit thinner, but longer.
Sorry.
Are you
almost like
going to
a-
start? Are you going to start
almost like a
comparing sword
mix-
sizes, Noxus?
No. It's almost
What
like a
about
mix
the size?
between your old Cortana blades and like a scimitar without the curve.
What about the size? It's how you use it.
Exactly. I'm just gonna like nod at him and I have received much from these. I'm still trying to comprehend, but I believe I remember.
I found it. Called a Mandarin collar.
A Mandarin collar, yeah.
Mandarin
go.
collar, Chinese
Yes.
kung fu shirt.
That's what you're wearing.
Yeah.
You remember what? Getting the sword? Yeah, we all saw you grab it.
No need to press. There's
Yeah. It was like a really bright light, but for like a second. Yeah.
Kind of looking at Shango since he said to not force, so she'll go quiet again then.
Are you feeling better?
Many questions answered and more found, I suppose. But aside from
That was
the ribs, I'm alright.
You put up quite a fight. Let's see your improvement.
Kind of glances down at that and kind of scratches the back of her head. Thank thee.
At this point, the door to the main room here opens, and 2 more of those female drow, familiar to you guys now, servants who've been taking care of you, come in and say, one of them says, "Is there anything else we can procure that you need before you rest for the evening?"
more food.
yes, more food, please. Thank you.
Yeah, we've been eating hardtack. I mean, how much of the feast is still in front of us?
Like, there's still enough there's like enough in here to feed like 20 people.
Might kind of like take a moment and then, are there still baths available?
You remember that they had kept there was a steaming bath back in your room next to your bed.
Yeah, just like relief. that is very. Oh God, she is.
So you
been
go
covered in blood
hop in the
and
bath.
Yeah,
Well, you were
Pardon me?
cleaned by the servant, but
Yeah, but she's not had a
Cortanis,
bath
you're
in a
gonna
long
love the
time.
bath. You're gonna love
So
it.
as you
It's so
leave
great.
into your room,
Just like
yells out, "You're
bowing
gonna
to
love that."
Shango, getting kind of the okay to go.
Permission, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please rest.
So you go hop in the bath.
As Cortanis leaves, I ask the servants, pleased to tell, I couldn't help but notice an assortment of books and knowledge at the entryway. Are we free to peruse the library and arcanum of this establishment?
Say what? What you talking
he
about?
thinks, he thinks for a second. It's like I would like to read.
Oh, we can bring you books. Like they brought you to a different tower. You're not on the first floor of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like he thinks back too, because I think when we came in there was like the long hallway, and at the end there was like a
Yeah, that was a different tower.
yeah.
Yeah, you were brought to a different tower.
Yep.
Yeah, and there was not that on the ground floor. It was a tower that specifically almost acts like a hotel room. It's all the guest quarters for the royal tower.
This is not the bookshelf you're looking for.
Yeah, but they nod their heads and they leave, and a cart is rolled in with many books on it.
Like a little kid in Toy Story, I go through and I look for something. First of anything on that speaks of the arcane nature, and more specifically on elemental planes and the planes of existence.
There are many books on the history of Lemnele and the Drow. There is no books on elemental planes. There is a book on on the hold on the where is it? What's it called? On the Shadowfell. There's a book on the Shadowfell.
Okay. I'll grab that one, turn it over, kind of wiggle it a little bit, and go over and start reading through it.
All right. Anybody else got anything?
I'm gonna slide up to Barrow if he's not busy.
He's just relaxing, I imagine, enjoying some food and drink,
Yep.
enjoying the fruits of his labor.
Mostly food and water, and just kind of, I know we've done a service, and supposedly we're heroes here, but still, I just want to be a bit cautious. Keep my eyes out.
Yep.
Barrow, you
Biero.
Barrow, you came in quite handy in that last fight. I can't say that you. I want to say you did terribly, but I was very, very impressed by your work.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm not sure why you want me to have done terribly, but certainly glad that I was able to do my part in upholding my word to you fine people. And I'll say I'm happy to return the compliment. You're all very strong and skilled, and you work well together as a team. It's impressive to see.
I get like very quiet and I go, we are fuckwits that are always getting by the skin of our teeth. My question is that high priestess did I know when you went down after we told you to fucking leave after you cast your spell, Did you possibly see her body? You
So yeah, did I find anything interesting or notice anything interesting on her body?
Before you were able to loot her body, you heard the footsteps coming.
Okay.
And so you ran back over to the teleportation pad.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, friend, before I was able to do much searching, the guards arrived and I ran back up to inform you. Was there something in particular you were looking for?
no. I um I pull out I go in my bag and there's like this little tiny box, so like super small box, and I kind of open it up and there's 2 locks of hair in it, and I go, it's a really weird thing that I've been doing, but like there's like a long white dreadlock and then like a much coarser brown cut of hair, and I go, I've been just kind of like trying to keep remembrance for what I have to answer for it, and after it all ends. So I've been. I would have done it with the Spider Queen, but her head is currently scrambled eggs on the cobblestone floor
Are you
below us.
telling me you keep hair from the people that you kill?
When you say it like that.
Fuck you, I killed her.
Yes.
Fuck you, I got that kill.
Yes. I remember a significant moment by taking a trophy. So when I need to repent in the afterlife for all the lives I've taken, I can remember them. Not everyone, but I try to.
I sigh and I probably look a little visibly less creeped out after that explanation. And I say it's a hard thing to bear, but it speaks highly of your character. I hope you don't take these things too harshly. I think killing may be not always the best thing, but I think we can agree that in this case it certainly was the right thing to do.
Before meeting these fine folks, as you say, I I didn't even throw a punch my whole life, but now I'm a very proficient at stabbing people and running away, which I guess is good in some sorts. But I shut the box and I put it away. I go, it's dumb. I'm sorry. You did good out there. And then I I stand up and I like shuffle back towards thoroughly embarrassed.
Stupid. Is there anything else you guys would like to do before you bed down for the night?
Not make eye contact with Biro.
What's that?
Not make eye contact.
How much time was there left in the day? Was it like just a couple, like an hour or so, or did we actually have?
What's that?
What time of the day was it when we got there? So how
You
much time is
don't really know what time of day it is. You've been underground for a while now, and I mean, it's been several hours since the last time you've slept.
Okay.
Long enough for you to go through that whole thing. Long enough for you guys to come back here and take like essentially 2 short rests back to back, then hang out and eat food for several hours and bullshit. And so, yeah.
Yeah, well, after having read for a while, I will see if I can find Nox in a quiet moment.
Okay.
Maybe kind of off by himself if he ever like goes up.
Okay. So there's a moment where Nox is kind of off by himself, eating, and you come up.
Oh. Yeah, so I'll walk up to him and be like, Noxus, there are grave meadows just past, but even more ahead.
But
And I kind of pat the bag of holding on my side. Be like, you will eventually have to face your tyrant.
wait, say that again.
There's never an opportune time for anything, really. But it is the need that we face the matters at hand, and the powers that hold out their claws over you.
Sobered up a little. um, he stands up and he walks over to you, and are you a man of faith?
um, I wait. Don't I have? Well, yeah. Just hold up my bracelet with all the charms on it. Like, yes.
It's a bracelet that you always have known that he's worn, Noxus. But this is the time you've looked at it. And there's all these like trinkets on it of different like things that you would imagine tied a cord. There's like a little cloud with a lightning bolt coming out of it, a couple other like little things like that on there. Actually, Shango, why don't you go ahead and what is all on there?
Yeah, so it's a silver bracelet with the charms tied to it. One of it is a katana style sword. One of it is, as you said, it's like a storm cloud, with the lightning bolt coming out of it. One of it is, if you recognize it, the Stormlord symbol from the Age of Arcanum, I believe it was, or from a long time ago.
Yep.
Another one just looks like a random shape. That you might have noticed Cortana's pick up back in Drina, which was actually formed by a lightning strike being held.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then that is all of that. Then one of it is, if you recognize it as the symbol of the Ashari.
Okay.
That one I'm going to say you probably don't recognize.
Okay. Yeah, I probably wouldn't know them. Well, I would know Keyleth, but
well, you know who Keyleth is, and you know who the Ashari are, but it doesn't mean
I don't know exactly their stuff.
Yeah,
symbology.
Exactly. Yeah.
So when he does that, I'll look at him and
like I know what Mongolia is a country, but I couldn't tell you what their flag looks like.
right, totally. I get that. And I'll look at him and I will say, I believe that I am starting to become aware. And if he lets me, Noxus will hug him.
What did you say? It was kind of quiet, by the way.
Cut out.
If he said...
no, what did Nox say?
Yeah, Nox said that I believe I am becoming one too. And if Shango lets him, he will hug him.
Okay.
As Noxus steps in, I just put one hand down on the bag of holding, but then realizing that he's actually hugging him, he's kind of awkwardly standing there for a second.
Yeah, there's very large dragonborn that's got like a couple feet on you. Comes up and like wraps his arms down around you.
Yeah, so definitely first an apprehension where I'm like, are you trying to take this from me? Okay.
But you realize he's just hugging
I guess we're good. Yeah, so I kind of hug him back, like sort of around
that like weird like arms
so low.
underneath, kind of like Han Solo hugging Chewie, kind of.
Yeah.
And before he lets him go, he will say, brother. Draconic.
Do you speak Draconic, Shango?
No.
He said, all right. Well, he says something in Draconic you don't recognize.
And then he will let him go, and he will say, the bag looks a lot better. And then he'll just kind of wait there if he has anything else he has to say.
I didn't catch the last part.
Yeah, you're very hard to hear right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like, are you far away from your microphone or something?
Yeah,
No, they're right here.
Oh,
I do have a fan going.
Yeah, that'd probably be it.
oh, that might be it. But just project. Yes, talk a little louder is all.
How's that? Is that better?
That's much better. Yeah.
I fixed the volume. Yeah, he basically he said the bag looks a lot better on you than it does him right now, and he's just standing there. If you have anything else you have to say.
No, I just stands there awkwardly, not really knowing what to say. It's like you kind of get
just
the
kind of
feeling.
like stand there in awkward silence for a second.
Yeah,
after
like awkward silence. You sort
after
of
your
get the
awkward
feeling.
hug.
Yeah, you get the feeling it's like something is really gnawing at him, but he doesn't really know how to bring it up or when to bring it up, and it's just
Well, make an insight check. Let's see if you do notice that, Noxus. I'll say.
Okay. Yeah.
Is he making it so obvious that I have?
I will see. We'll see. Just roll.
We'll see what you roll. Huh?
You don't have advantage, no.
Make an awkward check. What?
I'd say yeah. You kind of pick up on like there's something he wants to say, but he's not saying it.
Django, you can speak freely.
It is. We've just come off the brink of death, and yet we talk about more hardship and death. There seems to be never an ease in the burden we carry, and I fear for the hold that the tyrant has over you.
He'll just smile and I don't think I'm going.
What was that?
You're really quiet.
Why am I so freaking quiet?
I don't know. It was like good for a moment, and then it cut out again.
Yeah, stage whisper.
Stage whisper. I talk loud, so I don't know how you guys can hear me.
I don't know. Whenever you talk as Nox, we can't catch it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bunch of states away, so talk loud.
He says, I don't think I'll be afraid of her for much longer. I think this is the end of the road for that.
He gets an appreciative nod and says, "Be strong in spirit and in body. Someone is watching out for you."
I sure hope he is.
And I'll reach out my hand for like the wrist. What's it called when you grab the forearms?
Oh, like the Beastmaster hug or shake?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
strength and honor.
That I feel much more comfortable with.
Yeah. So you guys Beastmaster shake and head to your separate rooms, I guess. Is there anything else anyone would also like to do before you guys bed down for the night, maybe?
Noxus would like to bed one of those hot, sexy drow women.
After
you are
Yes!
yeah.
You are able to do so.
Fike will sleep in the hallway.
There's a couch out in the lounge area.
Yeah. I feel like after
There's
a
several
little
couches.
bit after bath might end up in the hall and notice Fike like awkwardly outside.
No, it's like a suite. Like you come in and there's like a big common area with couches and chairs and stuff, and then there's 3 bedrooms off of that room.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I assume like might go by Fike and like look at him for a moment and look a little kind of pensive.
I have a down pillow like over both my ears.
Art thou all right, Fike?
You don't hear that?
What, the copulation? Art thou a child?
Take inspiration. Both
Burn.
of you.
Nice.
Oh, that was awesome.
I'm just gonna roll.
I think I would have learned after Turst.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna roll a quick cure wounds just for that burn. That's my last spell.
It's their long rest.
Kind of
No,
like thinks Simone, shakes her head.
No, it's nothing. It's not important. It's
Kind of
what will
arches
never
about
be.
that.
It's fine. It's fine.
Kind of tilts her head
but
and
I'm
thinks a
glad-
moment. She's gonna eventually sit on the
I'm glad.
other side of the couch, probably.
I'm glad you're up and about, and we took a couple spills back there. It was rough.
Kind of cringes a little bit and gives a nod. More so than I would have liked, yes, but Fike. Kind of give like a tilt her head that way so the one eye can look at him.
Yeah, I'll retract the pillow. Yes.
Doth thou remember when thou told me that I worked for Sarenrae?
Yeah, I mean, we all sort of work. Apparently, I've worked for Cord a little bit. I do side work for Cord, apparently. So we all kind of work for whatever God favors us in that moment.
Is that not wrong? Doth that not cause problems?
I mean, we ended up here, right? I think that Fike's going to take a second to think that we are favored by whatever God needs us in that moment. I think that some of us, like myself, are a little more dedicated to a certain God than others, but I feel like others' influences aren't wrong. I, I mean, you saw us back in the tunnel. I've never shattered a stone with a shitty spear with lightning coursing through me before, but I guess Cord smiled upon me in that moment that we needed that push. We all there's miracles happening everywhere. We just don't notice them because they're so common. People think miracles don't happen every day, but they do.
Kind of like scrunches her nose a little bit as he continues talking and then kind of slightly shakes her head. Forgive me, I did not. I have learned.
It's all right.
I have learned more than I ever expected to, very quickly, and I am told that my soul hath been pulled in too many directions, and I am unsure how that works, or what problems 'tis causing, though it apparently displeases the gods. 'Tis very hard to explain. I saw Melora and one calling themselves Raven Queen. But I said my soul is being drawn by too many owners, and I doth not know how to fix that or what it would entail.
You don't think there's another copy of you walking around doing the same thing that you are for some other being that's not Shango, do you?
Kind of thinks a moment and then just like kind of tenses. I had not considered something to that effect. No, I certainly hope not. I was given... Like I remember. Everything, and... I doth not know what to do.
So your name, all the people that you served under, you remember all that.
I remember my name, my kingdom, my... She thinks a moment. I remember Severin, but something happened. There was... I hath not even explained this to my lord. I should not do so out of his...
Katanas, that makes you feel any better. Technically, this is a confession. I can't tell it with anyone unless you're going to directly injure you or somebody else. So my lips are sealed on this matter if you want to speak further. What is a Sebrin? Or who is a Sebrin?
They were my... sibling? I made my pact to save Severin. There was a fight. She's gonna kind of like quickly stand up. Perhaps this is a discussion for at least my lord, if not the others. I know that things spoken in secrecy hath caused problems among this group before.
Feist's just going to look a tiny bit like hurt by that. That's right. I wouldn't want you to upset Shango. I'm just going to kind of just start pulling the pillow like back over my shoulder. Not covering my ear, but just like getting ready for when she takes her position.
But I appreciate the discretion in a confession, Father.
Yeah, I cannot absolve you of the things you've done, but I'm glad that you've done them. And I know it's not worth the 2 copper pieces that I'm going to use it to say it, but I'm very proud of you.
Kind of like glances down. That mayest be the first time I've heard those words. Thank thee.
You're welcome.
With that,
excuse me while I drown out copulation.
Yeah. With that, you guys sleep. You guys all get the benefits of a long rest.
Woo!
So if you spent any hit dice, you get half your level of hit dice back, rounded up, I believe. It's one of the few things in the game that you round up. I think there's only like 2 things in the game you round up, and that's one of them.
So I have all of them back.
You get all your hit points back, all your spell slots back.
Woo!
You're all feeling a lot better. Any points of exhaustion are gone.
Can I roll for the fireball or no?
For the wand?
Oh yeah, I need to roll for my wand too.
Yeah. Yes, you can roll for your wands. What are they at, by the way?
1.
As
1.
Oh, they're each at 1?
Yep.
So I believe it's a d6 plus 1 you get.
Oh.
So yeah.
So that's 5 out of 6. Okay.
Spending.
I think we were all
Plus
pretty
my
spent.
So you get 4.
Yep.
You get 4 back,
5,
Cortanas.
So 5, yeah.
Mine is...
It's the same thing, a d6 plus 1.
Yep.
You are right. You are right.
They're both the same because they both have 7 charges.
Plus 1. Here we go.
3, so you get 3 charges back, so you're at 4 charges total. As you guys wake up and come to consciousness. You all smell what sounds like delicious breakfast foods and brewing coffee, because yes, even in the Underdark they have coffee. This is not. They're civilized.
Civilized.
They have to import it in, but they get
This
it.
is fucking bullshit. Tea only society.
As we get up, I want to look over to Katana's. I assume we wake up around the same time.
Oh, she's probably up earlier. She's always like first things doing. Got to go through the motions, even though like
we'll say from you guys get up around the same time as you come out to breakfast. You guys see that there are 6 mannequins set up in the common room, each with very fancy, nice clothes on them, with a very Underdarky feel, very drow feel, aesthetic to them. But they are very nice. They all look to be fine silks. And each of them, as you look around, probably match the size of one of you. There are a few servants in there. Some of them are getting the food out. One of them is someone you don't recognize, but they're kind of standing with their arms crossed. It is a female. And she looks at all of you and says, "Good morning. You all look well rested."
Morning.
tomorrow.
Feel quite rested.
Did I say that right? Good morning. Is that how you do it?
Greetings to you.
Is it morning when there is no sun?
Well, I was trying to give you a taste of home.
Yes,
and I failed.
Your colloquialisms were correct, but your execution was poor. But yes, we all appreciate
The effort is appreciated.
Well,
Very much so.
You have an important morning. The Empress is expecting to meet with you around midday. So please avail yourselves of, I believe you call it breakfast, break fast, and when you're ready, you can take your clothes back to your room and change.
All right. That's sounds like a plan, guys.
Agreed. We shall make ourselves available.
I shall return when it's time to escort you to the Empress. And she turns on a heel and exits the room.
I'll go up to Fike and say, I apologize if I seemed disrespectful in what you were telling me yesterday. Certainly, that was not intended. And I respect your value in life and your focus on protecting it.
I've been thinking it over, and I think my execution was poor, and which I could execute it better, which I'm coming up with a way to make it right. So at least it'll be more subtle than that. It's a little creepy. I'm gonna admit. I'm not gonna bullshit.
It's a little different.
It's odd. I have a plan for it, and I'm going to attempt while Beer's watching to take a robe that's not mine, preferably Sayo, because I'm a big strong man and I need a big robe. Because I want to see Sayo in a very short robe.
I'll allow it.
It's allowed.
I'm gonna look over to Katana's, open my mouth, and close it again, and I just say, sit with me, if you please, and go over to a quiet corner where we have a little bit of privacy to sit.
Go sit.
May I use your true name?
Of course, my lord. Thou mayest use whatever thou wisheth.
It is your own, not mine, to freely give out. Made it as it be. For now, we shall continue your journey. And in light of the situation, I believe a different path we need to take.
Different path.
On the journey to find yourself. A different path than is typically taken. I lose myself. Disregard, please. And I start to sit and close my eyes and meditate and tell her, clear your mind as we have done before. Think of nothing and everything at all. Find your sadness. Find what burdens you. Grasp it and release it.
Seems a bit
What?
cringe a little bit when he says grasp it and release it, finding it very difficult.
I'm missing the actual proper words of the player right now. The sadness in your heart is holding yourself back from opening yourself to the universe. So we are to overcome it, to free ourselves of these burdens, and propel ourselves beyond them. The first of many steps to enlighten yourself. Then I'll sit in silence for 10 minutes.
Is trying to ease. She seems really tense at the beginning and then just slowly starts to kind of ease towards the end of the 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. You guys come to the end of your 10 minutes. You feel relaxed.
Thank thee, my lord. It was most helpful.
Of course, it is my pleasure to share the ease that is finding balance.
I suppose I still have much to tell thee, but time restrains for now.
We have time.
Alrighty. So you guys enjoy a delicious breakfast. I assume you all get dressed in the clothes that are provided for you.
Aye, aye.
Nope. I put on say I got a lot of room in the shoulders. I don't think they got my.
Roll the single eye.
Father, have you lost weight?
I mean, we've been eating hardtack in the fucking underdog for a week, so I might have lost pounds, but.
Sayao wrestles his clothes from you.
He is very strong.
I'm wearing them. This is bullshit.
He throws your clothes at you. And you all get dressed in the appropriate attire. And as you all kind of hang out in the room, is there any quick conversations that you guys would like to have before meeting with the Empress?
Just, I know I joined this mission a bit later than the rest of you, but I would encourage you to remember now that she's an Empress in her full power, and be respectful.
I look at
I'm well
Knox.
acquainted with royalty.
True words, Piero.
Spike stares at you, Noxus.
Knox has a teacup with his pinky out, and he sees it and he goes, "What? What did I do?"
you're perfect. You're absolutely fucking perfect, just like always.
Damn fucking Skippy, you know that, right?
Skippy?
I don't know how to explain that one, Connor. It's too early. It's too early.
So
Excuse me, guys.
overjoyed
I'm
that you
getting over
skip.
Sorry.
You put that in the book. So overjoyed that you skip.
Skippy.
Takes out the journal really quickly.
Yep.
All right.
Makes a quick notation. As you're making said notation, Cortanus, there is a knock at the door. As that woman from before comes in wearing a beautiful silk gown. There is not a lot of back on this dress, if you know what I'm saying.
Whoa!
And she wears it well.
I'll give a look to Noxus, like,
Noxus is not looking at him. He is looking at this beautiful woman.
Yeah, Nox, you're wearing what looks like that same shirt that Cortanus was wearing before, but sleeveless.
Yeah.
With similar pants. Cortanus, you have on a fancier version of that. It appears to be has the same uniform color, a deep crushed velvet with silver platinum trim. Fike, you have what looks like traditional robes for a holy person. They look fairly similar to the ones you usually wear, different color scheme. Seao is wearing a similar outfit to what Cortanus is wearing, as is Shango and is Biero. You guys, the woman steps in and says, "Well, it looks like you're all ready, shall we? Best not to keep her waiting."
Yeah. He'll stand up and he will begin to walk.
All right, she will turn and lead you out of this room for the first time in a while. You guys travel down a hallway, down a spiral staircase, out the front door and into the streets of Lemnele. They are lined with drow. As you guys are led in almost a procession through the main courtyard and toward the royal tower. It is eerily quiet as everyone kind of just stands there watching you. Every once in a while, there is as you come around a turn, every once in a while there will be a small, it was almost like golf claps as you come through.
This is so awkward. This feels so awkward.
White claps.
Yeah.
This is thoroughly fucking creepy.
Yeah. It's like everyone was just kind of oogling half the party as slaves, like yesterday.
Yeah.
You guys are... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I look around nervously, as everyone's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, just slight hands on the hilts of the blades, but not gripping the.
For Drow, that's uproarious applause.
We don't know that.
You don't know that.
Yeah, we have no fucking idea.
I could cast calm emotions and make it more awkward for everybody.
Please do.
Calm down.
You guys are led through the main courtyard back up to the royal tower. And as the doors open, it looks like they did quick work in cleaning up all the blood and bodies. As you guys are led into that first floor, and where there was that, at the end of the hall, that shrine to Lolth, there is now what looks like a large throne. Sitting atop it is Sinimo. Lining the hallway, approaching it, is elite guard in ceremonial armor, all carrying tower shields on the ground in front of them and spears at their sides. As you come in, you can see Sinimo stand up as she is in a beautiful silk gown as well, and on her manicured hair on top of her head is what looks to be a crown made out of pure platinum, with beset with jet and rubies. As you are led down the hallway, the soldiers, with their spears out, pull them back as you approach. As you come down, standing at attention. As you reach the head of the throne room, you all fan out in a perpendicular line in front of the throne, and the woman who escorted you steps forward and says, "My Empress, may I please present the heroes of your empire, Lemnele?" And she bows deeply, kind of like using her hands to tell you to bow as well, behind her.
Yeah,
I'll
bows.
Do it.
bow and a tip of the non-existent head.
Yeah, I assume you all bow. With that, she leaves and kind of goes up the dais and stands to the back right of Sinimo, as there is a male drow that stands to her, flanks her to the left. He is wearing what looks to be like wizard's robes. And standing off to the side, you see what looks like 6 servants, all holding large purple pillows with items on top of them.
Oh.
Sinimo steps forward and says, "Well, I have to admit, when I first met you, I was a bit desperate and was not 100% certain that you could deliver on the agreement that we made, but I figured, what did I have to lose at that point? I was very pleased for the first time that my initial instincts turned out to be wrong. You have done everything you asked and more, returning me to my rightful place, here in the heart of my city. To repay you, I gift you artifacts. 3 that were gifted to us at the end of the last incursion by those we fought on the surface. 3 items, artifacts, from our civilization. We hope that you will carry them with you back to the surface to let them know that Iruha's plans were thwarted, and we maintain our promise not to return to the surface in force. Biero, step forward.
I step forward, keeping my eyes kind of deferentially lowered.
One of the servants steps forward, carrying a pillow with something on top of it, as Sinimo begins to speak. The Song Warden's lute was a gift from High Warden Torelda of Singorn to mark the end of the final incursion. It was the lute of the former Voice of Memory. As the lute is presented, it appears to be made of an ebony wood with gold trim, and the strings look as if they are made from mithril.
Wow.
The lute is presented to you.
I take it delicately and I look at it in awe, and I say, This is a mighty gift, Empress. I am quite grateful.
She nods her head. The servant kind of curtsies and walks back, and you kind of take your place back in line. Seau, step forward. Or, Fike. I'm sorry. Shango, step forward. She didn't actually do all that. She actually got it right.
Yeah,
Shango, step forward.
I'll step forward.
As you step forward, you watch as a servant is walking forth with a similar pillow, and there appears to be something laying across it as she says, "The Staff of Frost was recovered from the deepest depths of the Underdark by the former Archmage of Lemnele, now dead and a traitor." As the staff is presented, it appears to be what looks like a large shard of straight up ice. There's like this cold mist kind of like continually falling off of it. And at two spots there is this like white tufts of fur kind of like strapped on with leather as like spots to grab it so you don't so you won't like your hands won't get cold.
I'll chuck my own staff in the back and take it with both hands up off the pillow. We humbly accept these gifts and shall carry forward the message.
She nods to you, and the servant kind of curtsies and takes her place back in line.
I'll step backwards before turning around.
Yep. She says, Seau, step forward. He steps forward. As the servant steps forward, she says, "This quiver is standard issue for the elite guard of the Verdant Lord of Singorn." As the quiver is forward, you can see that it appears to be beautiful, with some sort of green leather that it is made from, and trimmed in silver. And there's an intricate belting system so that you can strap it to your back. He steps forward, just kind of like nods his head, takes it, and steps back. Noxus, step forward.
Steps forward.
You see another servant step forward, and Sinimo says, "This wand belonged to the now dead traitorous High Priestess. I see you've been starting a collection. Carry this with you." The wand appears to be made of silver, and there is a large, at the end of the wand, there appears to be a spider grasping in its 8 legs a large purple gemstone.
Thank you. Thank you, Empress, for everything that you've done. I'm just glad that we were able to help you. And we'll bow and step back.
She kind of nods her head, and the servant curtsies and returns. Kurtanis, step forward.
Muted.
You're muted.
Yeah, she keeps her head down but moves forward. Sorry.
As she walks, as your servant walks forward, you can see that there's a pair of boots on the pillow. She says, "These boots are standard issue for the elite female warriors and my personal god of Lemnele. You may recognize them. They look very similar to the ones that she wears, or she wore, back when you could see her feet and she wasn't in a gown that ran to the floor."
Right.
But they appear to be made of black leather and have a spiderweb motif on them in silver.
So gingerly like reach out for them and bow her head again. A most gracious gift. Mine thanks, Empress. And then step back.
You are more than deserving. And I would happily admit you to my personal guard if you wish to stay.
My apologies,
Go
Empress.
Chris in the background.
But
She nods her head in understanding, half expecting you to reject it out of hand, but she nods. The servant curtsies and goes back as you return to the line. And last but certainly not least, with the bearer of light, step forward.
Spike takes one step forward, and then he remembers that he has a nub on one hand, and he tucks his nubby hand behind him, and then gives a slight bow.
The servant comes forward, and you can see that there is what looks like some sort of weapon on that large purple pillow. As Sinimo says, this scimitar was a gift at the time. This was a gift from the, at the time, new ruler of Marquette, Jamon Sa'ord, to mark the end of the last incursion. The handle is gold and beset with jet jewels. The gold handle is in the shape of a cheetah, and the jet gems are like the spots. And the blade comes out, so the head of the cheetah faces down. The blade comes out like the tail of the cheetah and curves to a point. Paladin needs a golden weapon.
Thank you. And I'll slowly pick it up, give it one rotation, and then step back.
She nods. The servant curtsies and returns. To all of you, I thank you again, and could only imagine that the price, Biero, that you previously negotiated for would be sufficient. Reward as well, as another servant comes forward and opens a chest that appears to be filled with platinum that looks to be to the amount that would probably be equal to about 13,500 gold pieces.
13,000?
13,500 gold pieces in platinum. And the last thing I would give also came from Marquette and Jamon Sa'ord. And another pair of servants come out and unroll a huge carpet onto the floor that then begins to levitate off the ground a little bit.
Let's go!
Yee!
On it is the design of it appears to be blue with gold trim, and there is embroidered design of an eagle with its wings outstretched on the surface.
Like, when you say it's a huge carpet, it's big enough to fit us all on it?
Well, you don't know the exact details of it yet, but
Okay.
it's pretty big. You'd guess it's like probably like 5-6 feet by 9-10 feet.
Nice.
Wow.
Just admiring the embroidery.
It is immaculate craftsmanship.
No.
She says, now we have much to discuss. As she claps her hands, they kind of echo through the room as the elite guard, all in unison, kind of like turn and begin to march out, as well as the servants who were carrying the pillows begin to leave. The only people remaining being Sinimo and the woman who escorted you here and the gentleman that was standing on the other side of the throne as she turns around and goes and sits in the throne. After the room has cleared, she looks at all of you and says, "So, what is your next course of action? I assume you are looking to leave soon."
Your assumptions are correct.
You mentioned a being that, under his guise, no magical effect can exist.
Yes, I did.
I believe Oryx was there.
That is what it calls itself.
And we did not discuss this in our revelry last night, but how do we plan on taking care of this crown situation? I'm asking openly to the group.
We shall take care of it. And do you have any more information to the whereabouts of this Oryx?
Yes, I know exactly where he is. He has set up shop, I believe is the term, in the Drowned Archives.
Is this some friendly creature?
I don't know if friendly is a word I would use. Amiable at times, quite mad all the time.
Like mad as in crazy or mad?
Mad as in mentally insane.
Yeah, that's what I figured. When you said
Obsessive, as it were.
when you said like the depths, right? He's not underwater, is he?
I said the drowned.
Yeah, drowned. That word.
The Drowned Archives.
Yeah.
Yes, at least somewhat.
Okay.
Where
Just making sure.
where would we find these archives?
I would be happy to send a detachment of my finest soldiers to escort you to the entrance.
Is
It is close by.
Sorry, Shango, what did you say?
It is close by.
It is a bit of a journey, but you would feel free to go to the bottom of the waterfall, and you can take the river downstream a couple of sleep cycles, and you should be there. I'd be happy to have a detachment of a few of my ships escort you.
Is there anything that I don't know anything about a beholder? You said it was right.
Yes, they are peculiar creatures.
A beholder? We're seeking a beholder?
Make an intelligence check, Viero.
Yeah, I thought this
You're
came
a
up
bard?
like the first day you joined us.
No, you just referred to it as Aurochs at that point,
That's
so
true.
he didn't. He didn't know. 11. You've only in passing heard the term beholder before. The only thing you know about it is that they are generally found in deep, dark places, and you shouldn't fuck with them. That's pretty much all you know. They're very dangerous.
Fair enough. You all think it's wise and important to seek out this beholder?
Well, if you intend to
No,
destroy
sir.
the crown, I don't know of another way for you to do it.
No such motion has been made of it being wise or reasonable. Yet it is a course of action I believe we might need to take.
Katana's absent-mindedly
I
puts her
mean-
hands on the hilts of the blades and thinks.
I mean, you're free to go and leave as you wish, if you would like. I have what you promised me, and I, as I said, am a woman of my word. And if you wish only for safe escort to the surface, that will be provided. However, if you wish to follow this course of action, I will assist in what ways I can.
This is the point of the video game where they said you're going to be locked out of this area for a bit.
Yeah.
And the other thing, and this is out of character, the other thing is like, if we choose to leave, we still have the crown. And
Is this out of character, you said?
Yes, this is completely out of character. So it's like we this is a very important decision. Like, we can go and fuck with a beholder, or we can go and possibly fuck with this crown. So
It is
greater
up to you
evil.
guys. Yeah, it is up to you guys. You can ask her more questions if you'd like to help you make your decision.
Have you met Orox personally?
Only once, briefly, before Iruha came around. It was discovered that he had taken up residence in the Drowned Archives by one of our patrols, and I had sent several diplomatic contingents to make sure that he had no designs on expanding his domain. After a few of them didn't return, I went myself with a large contingent of soldiers, and it appears that this is only a temporary stop for him until he finds what it is that he is looking for. And so, instead of incurring the wrath of such a powerful creature, I seemed as though he was happy to stay where he was and not encroach on our domain, and so I let him be, if not under watch.
Did he say what it is that he's looking for?
Yeah, that.
Something about an ancient power that he knows is in those archives somewhere.
You mentioned that you found him to occasionally at least be amiable. Do you believe he may be willing to assist us?
Well, according to my diplomats, it all depends, I guess. He's a rather chaotic creature. At times, he will invite my diplomats in for jovial talks, and other times, they are sent back. Let's put it this way: not as they were sent.
I'm okay with graphic detail. I would really like to know what I'm going up. Please, Your Empress, Your Highness.
Some with the fear of their empress in their eyes. They have returned. Some have returned. Some have returned extolling the perfection that is Orox. Most of them recovered after a time, but he had strange effects over the mind. Another returned as an undead version of himself.
Oh, okay. I thought this was gonna be not that bad, but no, it's really fucking bad.
Oh, and one other returned as a pile of dust.
It just gets worse.
Or I should say, was returned as a pile of dust.
It just got worse.
When you approached him, was there anything that you believe you did or in any way encouraged him to be less hostile to you?
Well, from what I was able to gather, he is an extremely vain creature, and being complimentary went a long way.
Got it.
I say complimentary. I should say overzealous fawning.
Looking at Noxus.
Brown. Oh, I got it. Yeah.
He was quick to anger, though he did appear to take out the majority of his frustrations on his minions.
What sorts of minions did he have, Your Highness?
Nothics.
And Nothics are...
What is a...
Never heard of a Nothic?
No.
Never heard of a Nothic, no.
They're quite common down here. They're quite common down here, actually. And she kind of turns to her left to the individual to her left, the male drow, and he kind of steps forward and says, Nothics are creatures that reside here in the Underdark that have hard reptilian shelled skin and one rather large green eye. They're quite perceptive. And they are remarkably, not remarkably, but they are more intelligent than your average minion, and they are quite perceptive. The usual, illusions and such things seem to have they seem to be able to see right through them.
Am I correct in saying that if you send a battalion of men, then our transport to the surface is our own responsibility?
Sorry?
It just seemed like you said it was going to be like, we're going to assist you to find this sunken archive, or I assist you to the surface. It just seemed like there was one or the other. I just wanted to make sure that we're not...
It's whichever you like, or both.
Oh, really?
Assuming that you're able to get what you want from Aurochs and are able to return. As part of the negotiation I had with him, my forces can only come within a certain distance of the drowned archives.
I turn to the group and say, I still owe you a debt, and I am willing to follow and assist you whichever way.
Yes, Biero, before I forget. She says, she looks at you and says, the dwarven girl that you were sent down here to find, I had my soldiers retrieve her remains. They are being delivered to the Scarbearers of Craghammer with a letter explaining your involvement in finding her and making sure she was returned.
I bow deeply and say, Empress, that was very generous of you. I am very grateful again.
She nods her head.
And then I let the party know that you have helped me, and I am willing to continue my efforts to help you in whichever direction you feel is the right way to dispose of this crown.
Empress, if I may, perhaps if thou wouldst allow us to remain for one more sleep cycle, I suppose thou callest it, we could discuss and decide our plan for the morrow.
You are my guests. You may stay as long as you like.
Kind of looking at the others.
Wise step that would be.
Do we have free reign in the city so we may better equip ourselves for the journey?
Of course. As a matter of fact, she motions to the male drow again. He comes down and presents you all with these silver talismans that have what looks like the symbol of the crest of the Empress on it. These will show that you are friends of the Empress and give you, if anyone causes you any trouble in the city, this should take care of it.
Diplomatic immunity.
I assume you do not say that in character.
Yeah. You know, do that.
No, that was me being a jackass.
Not quite diplomatic immunity, but hey, I'm friends with the boss, kind of.
The boss. I'll look around a little sheepishly, and then ask Empress, are there archives in an arcanum that we could explore?
Excuse me. She turns towards the male drow again. He steps forward and says, the Empress told me that this might be something you asked about. I was instructed to make our halls of arcane learning available to you. Under my supervision, of course.
With a bow, I am in your debt.
Is there anything else I can do for you, my friends?
Friends, I like that. I think we should ready ourselves, and we'll make a decision in the morrow.
Very well. I shall speak to you again in 24 hours from now.
Do you have like a pocket watch or like a?
By the way,
time? Can you tell time?
my servants have allowed me the knowledge to inform you that it is currently sorry, trying to find the page. I have it marked. It is currently 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the 7th of Sidnesta. I believe you call the holiday High Summer.
Right. When do we know when we came down here about?
Yeah, you guys were in. I'm sorry, that's not correct. You came down here around High Summer. It is actually the 10th of Quen Pilar, the Hazel. It's the Hazel Festival.
Holy shit! We were down here for a whole freaking season.
You guys were down here for the majority of the summer.
Ooh.
Holy
Not
shit.
quite. It's not quite. Yeah, it's past harvest close, so.
So it's kind of like the same time as they are in real life.
No, it's probably closer to like late October.
I could use Icarus Blessing like 12 times.
You've been down here for a while.
So I could use the Blessing of the Heart like 12 times.
Yeah, you could have. Not 12 times, but you could have used it like
8 or 9.
Four times.
Oh, maybe not.
Oh,
that was like 2 months.
We've been down here a long time.
Yeah, it was like 2 months. So like, yeah,
8 weeks.
8 weeks. So
Quen Pilar, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Quen Pilar.
Quen Pilar.
Out of character, it's doesn't Shango have something to do like just like right after winter or something?
I'm just looking at.
It's the second. It's the second month of the year.
Oh,
you guys are in the first third of the ninth or ninth month of the 11-month year. So you've got You've got
2 more.
The majority of the month you're in, next month, the month after that, the month after that,
Like 3 and
for the day of challenge. You've got like almost 4 months before he's got to do the thing.
Did she say how long the journey was going to be? She said
to the Drowned Archives.
Yes.
If you take the river, she said it's a couple days, couple cycles. She calls it. You don't know if a cycle is equal to a day down here.
From there, if keyword, if we survive and you grant us passage and help us get to the surface, how long is that?
That journey is a bit longer. Should take the better part of what I believe you would call a week to get you to the very bottom mines of Craghammer.
Hey, are we on the other side of the continent?
I don't know. From where did you enter?
Whitestone?
Yes, you're quite. I'm not familiar with this white stone.
We're like right next. Yeah, that one.
The Parchwood Forest. Yes, you're quite a ways from there.
Holy shit!
how far is it from Krakama to Iman?
Relatively close.
She doesn't really have the answer for that. If you're asking out loud, or if you're just kind of.
No, I'm asking out of character. If Shango would know that.
Biro would know exactly how far that is.
That's true.
Fuck.
Yeah.
A little far. It's a little way.
It's precisely days.
Yeah, no, hold on. My map is taking forever to load.
That's fair.
I want to say it's like a week or two.
D&D Beyond.
There
So,
we go.
out of character, do we want to deal with this beholder or go to the...
From Craghammer to Iman
Yeah.
on foot, like if you were like riding horses,
Yeah, riding horses.
if you stuck to the roads,
Yep.
you'd have to jump down. You'd have to go down to the Iron Seat Ridge. Here, actually, let me do this for you guys real quick.
Put it on.
There's Craghammer.
All we see is white.
Yep.
Yeah, I see nothing.
Well, give it a minute. I guess for some reason it's
White
being.
blind again.
I don't know. I got everything.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
Slowly.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
Slowly.
loading.
There's a very big
Any
map.
image from AOL. It's slowly
Yeah,
coming
it's all
in.
pixely. It's all pixely.
So about 50.
There it is.
Oh.
50. So 15 feet is 200 miles.
So like 600 and something
As the
miles.
crow flies.
600 miles.
Well, yeah, you're talking about going from there to there. That's
As the crow flies.
that's not. Yeah, you could also go out this way. So that's like 400. It's like a 400-mile journey. You can do I think you can go like on horseback. Like you can go like I think it's like 36 miles a day walking. So you can do like double that on horseback.
Question.
Okay, so around about a week-ish.
About so you can 36 miles a day doubled would 74,
Yeah.
right?
36.
36 times 2.
72.
72.
72 miles a day.
Yeah.
So 400 divided by 72.
About 6 days.
42.
So yeah, about
Yeah.
give or take 6 days, depending on if you get good weather.
So
or
a
not.
week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about a week.
5
Around about a
days. Rounded up to 6. Yeah,
Okay.
about a week.
Check that.
Question about the carpet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure someone asked this. I might have missed it. We don't 100% know if we can all fit on the carpet.
No, you haven't had a chance to like play with it yet.
Okay, so we're gonna have to play with that to see if that may change. Well, I think that answers all my questions. Actually, here's a better one. Do we know how to kill it?
I imagine it can be killed the same way most things can be killed.
If it
is a
came-
living creature.
We need it alive to deal with the crown. We can't.
I know. I'm just saying, worst case scenario, is it easy to kill?
I would not imagine so.
Would it be a problem for you if we did kill it?
Not really, no.
Okay. Well, that's good.
As a matter of fact, it would actually... I mean, I don't need you to kill it. I'm good for now to live and let live with it, but if you happen to kill it, it really would be fine, really.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, I think that answers most of our questions.
If you have any others, you can ask me tomorrow.
All right.
I will make sure that my servants are there to guide you to whatever parts of our city you feel you need to avail yourselves of.
We appreciate your
Thanks.
hospitality.
Believe me, it is my pleasure.
I bow again as we...
Yes, you guys are escorted out of the building with all of your loot, as there are a couple of servants to carry the chest, and you all have your stuff that you were given.
Just to be clear, we got 13,500 platinum pieces?
No,
No, gold and platinum.
13,500 gold pieces worth of platinum.
So 1,350 platinum.
Yes.
So
Yes.
1,315 platinum.
And that was,
1,350 platinum.
and
13
that was Bureau's payment for finding the.
plus.
No,
Logan,
that
so-
was the price that you negotiated for the slaves with Iruha.
That makes a lot more sense.
So 2,700.
So she thought it was only fitting that you get that amount.
I had that Larkin right over my head.
Yeah. Pull the Larkin.
I'm like, that is a weird fucking price, man.
2,170.
Just saying.
Yeah, I put in that we had 14,000 something
Right.
platinum
Okay.
pieces, so I got it wrong.
Yeah, I see you. See you up there.
I
the bag
just
of
fixed
holding.
it.
Money boy, you're all welcome.
The accountant.
No, not the accountant, the one that got us that money.
The one that got us that
Yeah.
money, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
because
damn
that
money.
is rare.
Negotiator.
Oh,
Teamwork. It's teamwork.
speaking of his blue ass, Shango, show me your rod.
Phrasing.
Knox just looks at him and is like, "Whoa, I didn't like." Oh, okay, this is happening.
Uh,
The magical
pull out-
staff, Noxus.
Oh,
I pull a.
He's that good, huh?
Thou thinks
I knew
he's a
that.
child.
I knew that.
I undo my pants. I mean, I pull out the white man's rod from.
Whiteman's rod.
I undo my belt slowly.
Yeah. I loosen the belt a little to pull out the rod.
How many?
Just strumming on the loot behind
Yeah.
Vera.
down.
I would.
Not what I was
You were
thinking, but
told.
okay.
Bureau, you were told, or it was recommended to you, not to play the lute until you had attuned to it.
Okay.
Oh, good.
I will play a body tune on my regular lute.
Okay.
Bow chicka bow wow.
That's going to be synced, I guarantee.
What would you guys like to do? Where would you like to go? You guys are standing out in the courtyard of the Royal Tower right now. There are servants there holding heavy chest, looking at you like, where are we going with this?
Perhaps we should discuss back at the tower first and decide from there.
So, to your rooms then?
Aye.
Yes.
All right, so you are escorted back to your rooms. The people in the streets are all gone. It appears that this city operates like many others, and there is people going about all their business throughout the day. People carrying carts full of goods, guards patrolling the streets. Every once in a while, one of those giant bat knights flies overhead with their super huge long spear lances. As you guys are led back to your rooms and left to all your stuff is like brought in, and the servants say, "We will be outside if you need us." And they
on the way back, I want to whisper to Fike. I certainly hope there are other options than to seek out the Beholder. Yet, I do not wish to discuss them in front of the Empress.
Agreed.
All right. So you guys arrive. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying the rest are safe till we go back. Sorry.
Okay. You guys arrive back at your room. The food has been cleared out. It looks like it's been cleaned, or housekeeping has been through. And you guys are left to your own devices. The door closes behind you.
This is truly the best option.
The best,
I don't like
I'm
it.
not sure it is.
Well, if you know a great alchemist that could destroy this thing, I'm more than open to any suggestions. And I kind of just take the scimitar and just put it onto the table, kind of lightly.
It's kind of every time you move it, it kind of has that shing sound, like as it moves through the air.
It's not in a sheath.
No. Like... well, yeah, you were presented a sheath with it. That's how sharp it is.
I sheathed them.
Even when it's sheathed, it goes shing.
The sheath is sharp. I don't understand how you do it.
No, I'm just kidding.
Perhaps
I will kill a motherfucker with a sheath.
Perhaps these could be of assistance. And she kind of slowly like pulls out the two blades and kind of holds them forward and looks them over.
So the Nature's Boon, as I said, they both have that same like boxy style aesthetic to the blade, like your katanas did, but they're thinner and longer now. Like whatever thickness they had, kind of like shrunk in and became length. They still have that flat top to them. And the guards are much more styled after your other blades. And the Nature's Boon appears, the blade is quite obviously mithril, and it still has that same etching going up the blade, like that totem of the different animals. And the handle appears to it looks like it's a wooden handle that has that kind of like big boxy guard on it. But it almost looks like grown roots. Like it's like the guard around it is like these almost grown living roots that have like it's like if Groot grew you a handle for the sword, like he did for Stormbringer.
Nice.
Yeah, and the other blade, the blade of it almost doesn't even look steel. It has like this black volcanic like glass like to it, but every time you're expecting it to like chip every time you like hit something with it, but it doesn't. And the handle appears to be made of bone white ivory.
Katanas, I don't think I understand your blades are quite amazing, but they their effects will be nullified against this thing's guise. And personally, I don't wish you to be in that room with the thing.
Have you all fought one of these before?
Perhaps not with the beholder, but perhaps these against the crown. Just pointing towards the bag of holding with one of them.
An empty place, need we?
Magical
Sorry, what did you say,
items
Shingo?
An empty place, need we?
Perhaps.
I
know it's not how
think we should not.
Artifacts react to each other.
We should not strike upon them in the middle of town.
No.
Agreed.
Right.
But,
so real quick.
And
real quick. So.
Oh, sorry.
So just real quick, so that we do not want to go see this thing, right? Like, we're all in agreement of that, right? We're trying to find some other way to do this, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Otherwise,
I am glad we're all on the same page.
Yes.
Otherwise would be... Yes. Turns out to be the only way. It is the way that needs...
Right,
I mean,
right.
I'm certainly up for a challenge.
From my knowledge, Cortanus knows from that vision how these were made, right? The
Yes.
blades. Okay.
Yes.
And she's going to say, these were forged in the wake of Melora. Perhaps they can't be of assistance in dealing with something such as that.
Shot at this word. Or a strike, we should say.
So perhaps we plan to head towards this beholder, and since it'll take a couple of days, and on the first day out, when we're away from the city, you can try smashing it and see if we're not surrounded by innocents.
Good plan, that is to me.
Shango, but your dome would protect us inside, correct? That no effect would be able to go outside of it?
Yes, perhaps if 'twas done inside thy magic, my lord.
So far, nothing has been passing through.
So why don't we try doing it within the dome? At least this is going to require experimentation regardless. Might as well try it here, right?
Right.
Within or without them?
Well, the dome is its own sanctum. It would be able to hold whatever's within, which is usually us, but our experiment. I'm also an idiot. I'm asking you. What do
you see him contemplating because he's like, usually things are out if we're inside.
Or perhaps the Empress mayest have a place to do such experimentation?
Not a terrible idea to ask her. So I like the idea of trying to figure something out before we get there, but like, what if we just don't go to this thing? And I mean, we're on the other side of the continent, right? I mean, would Noxus know that like Amon is like there's got to be somebody there who could help us? Would he have that inclination because it's so big?
I mean, you sailed for a while. It's one of the big...
I can't hear you.
Yeah, you sailed for a while and then you cut out.
Hello? How about now?
Now we can hear
you. There you go. I can hear you.
So you were a sailor for a long time, and you know that Amon is the biggest port city on Taldore.
Okay.
And I mean, you know, obviously you learned a lot about the events of the Chroma Conclave because it affected you personally, and you know that it also hit Amon just as hard as it hit Triconia, almost.
Okay.
But it's been rebuilding pretty quickly. It's a huge port city. It's one of the biggest cities on the planet.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's a lyceum there. You would know that. That's pretty common knowledge.
What is a lyceum?
A lyceum is a place of study, both arcane and otherwise.
Okay. I mean, we're right near Amman. Like, we're only like a week's.
It's essentially also where wizards are made. Like, if you want to go learn magic.
Oh yeah. Okay,
It's a wizard factory.
Yeah, essentially.
So,
but it does. But it's more than that. It's like a college, like a huge, like it's
right.
But it's also like the whole campus. You have like the section that's for doing experiments and studying new things, and there's this section that's for like teaching new arcanists and new wizards and new bards, and bard colleges are also places of study and training and of arcane arts, just a different facet of it. So, yeah, but
totally.
Any city that size has got to have,
yeah, got it. Totally. I mean, we're like maybe a week.
Whitestone's like a small town compared to Amman.
Right. We're like a week, maybe 2 weeks away from Amman, one of the not one, but the biggest city in this world.
Well, in Tal'Dorei, not the world.
Okay.
Vasselheim would be.
Vasselheim, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
On this continent.
On this continent, like, there's got to be somebody there. Like, there's a lyceum there. People they make wizards there. Like, they got to know how to help us.
Into a big crowded city that would bring this crown, which rather worries me.
But they got to know to reach in there and know what it is that they're grabbing. The only ones who can reach it out of it is us, because we know it's in there.
They may be able to.
Nobody else can get it.
But there's no guarantees. Why pass up an opportunity to try something on the way there?
Bureau, you would actually know quite a bit about the Lyceum in Amman, as well as, you've spent a lot of time there, so.
Right. So would I have a sense that, I know there's...
The Lyceum in Amman is like the foremost, outside of, like, in the world of humans, like, it is the foremost place of magical study in Tal'Dorei outside of Singorn.
Would I think that, hey, we just stop at the Lyceum and it's guaranteed to be able to deal with this crown? Or is it like...
I don't know if you just showed up at Harvard and was like, hey, I have this artifact, can you look at it?
Yeah.
They probably would, to be honest with you. Shango.
Well, I mean, Bureau, you have the connections to be able to,
right. No, I think less about whether or not can we talk our way into getting their attention to try.
You wouldn't even need to talk your way in. You would just talk to a buddy and be like, hey, I need to talk to somebody at the Lyceum, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. They'd be like, yeah, I'll set that up for you.
Right, but I guess what I'm asking is more like, do I have a sense of confidence that if we brought it to the Lyceum, they would be capable of dealing with the crown, or is it like...
If anybody could, it might be them.
Okay. I can aid us in getting into the Lyceum and asking them to take a look at this crown for us. I can't be sure that they'll have a solution for us, but certainly if anybody can think of one, they would be at the Lyceum.
Would we not expect attraction and the pull of many curious eyes and ears of artifact?
Certainly people who go there are interested in magical knowledge and items, but I would say as a whole it's a well-run place that proper precautions would be taken to the best of their ability.
Here's a question. Did we have any kind of timeline imposed on us by Ikbar, or was that just to get the crown by... something.
The promise that Fike made was to destroy the crown.
Okay, so no time limit on that.
I mean, he said that the cycle would renew if the crown still existed, wasn't destroyed.
So did he say what the time frame was on that?
He couldn't give you an answer on that.
It became wind. Shango, is there like... I remember you and Erdan were having that chat about enchanting. Is there any, like, don't fucking do when you enchant something? Maybe we could reverse engineer the thing or something.
I don't know, DM, is there? Did I read something like that in my enchanting studies?
Make an Arcana check.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Go, big man. No.
I mean, generally, you can't enchant things that are already enchanted without essentially first like dispelling it and then re-enchanting it from the start. Is essentially how that works. You can't generally like throw an enchantment onto an enchantment. That's not how it works. The process works. When it comes to super powerful magical artifacts, it's just kind of outside, like something like you studied like making +1 swords and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is way outside of your.
Yeah. Sadly, this level of power and arcane energy is outside my current realm of understanding, and I believe it to be years of studying before I would be able to engineer such an artifact.
If you could even do that.
I'm not saying we make another one. I'm just saying that if there's a, like, don't do this, like, don't throw it into boiling lava, don't throw it into molten lead, don't, freeze it by a giant, like, icy dragon. If there was a section that said, do not do this while enchanting, I thought that might have been helpful.
Well, such studies have been pertained to the process of actually embedding the enchantment rather than having an already embedded enchantment. So there is a plethora of ways of messing up while you are in the process of embedding the magic, which does unfortunately not extrapolate to the already embedded power.
And that's why we need somebody from the Lyceum.
So with my connections, would I know that like they, maybe not the Lyceum itself, but like people on the council have had occasion to come across with uniquely powerful magical items like on this level?
I mean, you've never had any conversations with any of them about, hey, have you ever come across any like super powerful dangerous magical artifacts? Not really, no.
Okay.
But I mean, studying magical artifacts and doing other magic things is kind of like what the Lyceum does. So, I mean, I'm not trying to like sway you one way or another. All I'm that Amon has a Lyceum, which is a place of arcane study, and if you were looking for, the Stephen Hawking of magical artifacts to tell you about this thing, you might likely find them there. You could also probably find them at the Lyceum in Singorn. Or potentially someone at the Cobalt Soul in Western. And these are all things you would know, Bureau.
Right.
Perhaps even someone at House Thunderbrand in Craghammer could help you. You don't know.
Right.
You don't know like people at the Lyceum, and you didn't learn there. You know a guy who knows a guy.
Right.
You know a guy who can get you in the room with the guy that you would ask these questions to.
Gotcha. Look, there's options along the way. Only I feel like I can get enough attention to have the people at the Alabaster Lyceum take a look at this thing. If somebody's able to do something with it, certainly they'll at least know there. But it may be worth exploring our options on the way there, since it'll take a while to get there.
Well, there's also something that you guys should know. We probably should not touch it unless we have, like, it's going out away from us, completely out of our grasp. Like when I held it, I wanted to put it on, but I fought it. Do not touch it. Do not take it out of the bag. The only reason I give it to you, Shango, is because you would fight me for it because of what I told you.
Indeed.
That thing is not coming out of the bag. I don't care what any of you say. I do not want to kill any of you because you can't fight it.
How doth we remove it
Well-
or destroy it without having it in front of us?
Tongs.
That is why we don't
Tongs.
touch it very often.
What?
Did that happen when you touched it, or just when you saw it?
As soon as I had it in my hands.
Yeah, it seemed to be when you were holding it, Noxus.
What if we are
Like,
to destroy?
I'm not pulled to take it out of the bag right now. Like, I'm perfectly fine to hold the bag.
It can remain in the back, and the back can remain with me. Well, if we are to destroy it, we will have to remove it. Unless, what if we are to destroy the bag that contains the crown?
No, because I bought that.
Take
No,
inspiration. Take
very
inspiration.
fucking serious.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah,
I'm sure we can reimburse you for your.
I'm sure magic does not work that way. It would be too simple just to put it in a bag of holding and then destroy the bag of holding.
Make an
Could
Arcana
not-
check,
yeah,
Biero and Shango.
Woo! Let's go.
Shango and Biero,
Good
you
ones.
both, this is not super hard arcane knowledge to know. You both know that if a bag of holding is destroyed, its contents are jettisoned into the astral sea.
Okay.
Which is not
they don't
destroyed.
disappear on their own plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
So if we were to try to destroy the bag with the crown in it, we're not going to actually end up destroying the crown. We'll just send it somewhere else for potentially somebody else to find.
Which means I will die.
Right.
Disregard my previous statement. I had forgotten my training.
Even I knew that, Shango, and I'm a fucking idiot.
If thou still
What
hadst
can I
thy
say?
hand, Fike, perhaps that wouldst have helped, but is that gone for good now? Or?
My capabilities.
I don't really know how it works. So,
Do you try to summon it?
it has.
Hey! Try smacking me in the back of the head again.
I just try to summon it at the wrist.
You summon it, and it appears.
Well, that's neat.
Potential
All right,
solution?
so
You get the sense that
Yeah.
after you rested, this part of the ability came back.
it disappears after a minute. Like, pff.
Yeah, it disappears after a minute, and then you'd have to resummon it.
Are they able to remove things from the bag of holding with that?
Would it consider?
Shango, will you allow me to
You can certainly try.
Oh fuck!
I suggest we try when we have a reason to actually remove it.
No. Perhaps not the crown,
But-
but another item?
Yeah,
Oh.
anything.
Certainly. And,
So what are you going to attempt to remove from the bag?
Just take a platinum piece
3
out or something.
Yeah, a single, 2 platinum pieces.
Make your spellcasting modifier is charisma, so make a charisma check. $19. The hand, the mage hand into the bag and comes back out with 2 platinum pieces.
Progress.
It was harder than just reaching in with your hand, Fike. It's like you had to concentrate that much more, which is why you have to make the check. You'd have to make the check anytime you do it, but it can be done.
All right, that's something. I kind of start retracting the hand back to me.
One.
It floats towards you.
Good.
With 2 platinum pieces in it.
Sneaky. At least
I'm going to say the rest of you are distracted enough to not notice.
yeah, that's fair.
I mean, Knox would notice, and he just doesn't care at the moment.
I've been carrying around the same
money.
the 77 gold pieces. It's the battle at Turst Fields.
there you go. Now you have 2 platinum in there too.
Then perhaps a safe place here to try simply destroying it with these, and holds it up if I can remove it.
Yeah.
Tis a first step.
We all have a semblance of a magic weapon if we're going to just... You don't have any special spell you're going to cast out of that, right? You're just going to kind of smack it?
No, but from what I have gathered, this may be considered another vestige.
What's a
You mentioned
vestige?
Make Arcana checks, or history checks, I would say.
Everybody?
Yeah.
She mentioned the blades.
Hey, I got a 1.
It's a funny word, Noxus.
That's a weird ass word.
Bureau, you know, all that you know is that you had heard from a certain someone, your contact in Amman, that the members of Vox Machina carry powerful items, and you think at one time he referred to them as a vestige.
Do I know that their relationship with Percy at this point?
Theirs? They've never talked about it.
Okay.
They've never talked about
I
it.
don't think so.
We did mention we are lords, though.
Of Whitestone, that's true.
You did say they were from Whitestone.
Yeah.
And that
we're
they
lords,
apparently that they're lords. I mean,
and a lady.
Depending
Lords and a lady.
if you believe them.
There's a group of adventurers known as Vox Machina who I'd heard had managed to obtain items that are rumored to be of a similar age and power to this one. In fact, one of them, or I think 2 of them, live in Whitestone as the Lord and Lady of Whitestone. You may have heard of them.
Oh, that's right.
And you might recall the voice of the Tempest herself.
Yes, Shango. You know that she wields a vestige.
Yeah. Why don't we just ask Percy or Vex? Maybe they can help us. They might know somebody who can take care of this. And then we don't have to put ourselves in danger and get ourselves killed.
We're constantly going to mommy and daddy whenever we have a boo-boo. You don't think it's a little bit humiliating?
No, because I don't want to die.
Didn't we already try to ask Percy about this before we left?
Nope.
No.
You guys didn't even tell him that you were leaving.
Yeah, we just left.
We just peaced out.
We just fucking left,
I could have
guys.
sworn, it was said, Percy was just I don't have time for this. This is not my jurisdiction anymore.
He wasn't. I don't
that
think
happened.
he. No. I think he just told us what was going on. Or maybe he was gone and just Cassandra was there.
Maybe.
I'm going to see what Ichabod has to say about this.
These blades are.
He knows when I'm speaking. He's hurt me before, so at least he's listening. If we take some more time to go to a place where we could get this dispelled by an Arcanist, will you kill me before that happens? And feel free to hurt me for yes, and don't hurt me for no.
You kind of stand there for a second.
I want to put the crown on and become the new Spider Queen.
Nothing happens.
He knows I'm full of shit, so
Tell him to hurt me then.
no, it's when we were going in before we got in the rapids, I'm like, well, there's no turning back now, and then they give me like a jolt, so at least I know he'd be listening. I don't know if it has to do with the blessing or whatever, but
At least
Ask
what
him to
I
just hurt you.
I did.
Did.
He's not.
I can only speak to these, but I can say that from what I know, they were forged in the destruction of a god. So perhaps something created by another could be destroyed by them. 'Twas my only reason for asserting the potential.
What god?
Right.
Nerul.
You don't know who that is. You never heard that name before.
That's okay. That's different.
That's new.
Did it sense like they don't know who that is?
Make an insight check. I mean, they don't appear to be lying. They just don't. They're like, that's a weird name. I've never heard that before.
It's kind of like me and Vestiges. That's a funny word.
Like
Yeah.
being honest? What?
I mean, you have no reason to think they're lying.
Thou doth not
They
know
don't seem to-
Definitely not.
the goddess of death.
Yeah.
Raven Queen?
Yeah, the Raven Queen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She brings people over like the ferry, right? Right? Am I right? Am I wrong?
The gist of it.
It's a simplistic view of it, but it's technically accurate.
Perfect for Noxus.
Yes, exactly.
Jonas is just like kind of like wide-eyed a little bit, and is
The
that what
transition
happened?
of death, I believe it's a dog.
My Severin destroyed Nerul. And then something changed.
What?
Severin.
What are you talking about?
Severin destroyed her.
I could not be there in time to save Severin, but I saw through another's eyes. Severin destroyed this Nerul and then died, and I did what I could to save. And then I should not have remembered, but Melora was there and gave Severin some sort of rites, some magic. Went through some sort of ritual and said that he cast off his name and place as daughter, and then changed. I doth not understand, but I saw this woman, Raven Queen, before I woke up with Melora. This is all very strange. I doth not understand, but as Queen of Ravens said that Severin no longer exists. But what is this existence if not for Severin?
It appears Severin took his hand in changing the cosmic array of the deities themselves.
New goddess?
What you say holds true. It appears he sacrificed his own life force to impact the gods and goddesses.
No. Severin once told me a long time ago. Forgive me, I got distracted. Thank you so much for the sub, Renka. Sorry about that. I got distracted in the middle of what I thought. I got a very loud, it's my birthday in my head. Severin said that he cast off a false form. Someone once asked if I'd ever felt my body wrong. I thought perhaps he was sick, but called himself a daughter. Is she my sister?
Do you remember having a sibling that was a girl?
I remember Severin. I made my pact because Severin was special, touched by fate, meant to be more than all of us. I was meant to protect.
Not only him. He is not the only one touched from fate and smiled upon by the gods.
I just remember seeing through Melora's eyes, Severin going through some rites, speaking words, and changing to form with feathers. And then in the darkness I saw Melora and Raven Queen. And they told me that my soul was being pulled in too many directions, and one was towards this Raven Queen, one was towards the Builder, and then she glances over at Shango and goes quiet. That was my sister. Just kind of like tear falls down. She like puts it away and tries to think.
I'm gonna turn around and start to cast Calm Emotions.
What's the save?
1 second, I don't do this.
You don't.
Right?
It's exactly the thing you do. Charisma save.
Thing I do?
Cortana's charisma save. I'm
Charisma
sure
save.
you'll do great.
This is fine.
You're probably
this is
gonna
fine.
fail.
Just trying to keep her from having a panic attack.
Yeah, so a kind of serenity comes over you, Cortanas.
Great interest there appears to be path by not just one, but many of the powerful beings.
Forgive me, I became too
There's
emotional.
nothing forgiven. There's nothing to be forgiven. There's nothing done in the wrong. Yet you're the only one that can know the answer and that can know where your path takes you.
I knew Sebin was destined for greatness, but the gods.
God said, not only plans
Looks like
with
you are
Sebron,
too.
the gods also had plans with Pernell of the House of Rosen.
Looks to Shango and then back to the others and kind of nods her head in greeting. And perhaps one thing at a time.
I think we've got enough interrogating for today.
So Seau says, so are we gonna go to this beholder thing, or are we gonna go to the surface?
I vote surface. I want out of here, and I know you do too, Fike. Don't lie.
I will suggest trying this beholder. The odds may be long, but something this dangerous, perhaps we should try everything.
I must concur with Biero. See no clear path returning to the surface just yet.
We attempt any options presented to us.
Shall attempt any options presented to us. And Noxus, if you fear for your safety, you can always retreat to a far distance upon our, shall we call it, experimentation.
You guys don't get it. It's not just my safety I worry about. It's your safety. I don't want you to die either.
If it is what it takes to destroy the crown, then so be it.
Regardless what we decide, we're in desperate need of supplies. So let us take care of that first, regardless whether or not we're going after this beholder or to the surface.
We have 24 hours to make a decision.
For like 7 days.
You have 24 hours before you have to meet with the Empress again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seau says, so, Shango, can you tell us about all this shit we got?
But of course.
Oh, yes.
We shall take a respite from our decision.
I need to pull Shango aside before the end of the session. I'm just letting you know.
Okay. All right.
Right. And I'll pull out my book and start going through the thing, starting with Seos.
Identifying everything?
Woo!
Yes.
Magic
Starting
shit!
with Seos quicker.
Starting with Seaus?
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking.
There you go. There you
So it is a quiver of Elona, as in the DMG, but any ammo that's stored in it gains +1 to attack and damage rolls, but the ammo can only be used once. It is destroyed upon use. So you can buy mundane arrows, javelins, and spears, and put them in there. And when you throw them, they are considered +1, but only one time.
That's amazing.
Who do you do next?
Let's do Biero's Songword.
Barrow's loot.
Yes.
Barrow's loot is actually the same as I think it's pronounced Sealy lyre in the DMG. It is an instrument of the bard. It requires attunement. Anyone who tries to play the instrument without being attuned to it has to make a wisdom save, DC 15. On a fail, they take 2d4 psychic damage. You can use an action to play the instrument and cast one of the spells from the instrument. Once the instrument has been used to cast a spell, it can't be used to cast that spell again until the next dawn. The spells use the spellcasting ability and spell save DC of the wielder. It can only be attuned by a bard. When you use the instrument to cast a spell that causes targets to become charmed on a failed save, the targets have disadvantage on the saving throw. This effect applies whether you are using the instrument as the source of the spell or as a spellcasting focus.
Nice.
The spells that can be cast from the instrument, from the Song Warden's lute, are Fly, Invisibility, Levitate, Protection from Evil and Good, Stone Shape, Wall of Fire, and Wind Wall.
Ooh,
Nice.
that's awesome.
Sweet.
That is a grab bag of spells. Holy shit.
Yes. You can find it. It's the
Amazing.
CLI Lyre from page 176 of the DMG.
Got it.
But it is in the form of a lute instead.
I should be the only liar in this group. That's why.
What's next, Shango?
Cortana's boot.
Those are the boots of spider
boots
climbing,
spider
aren't they?
They are
Yeah.
boots of spider climbing, yes.
Boots of spider
Easy.
climb. Yeah.
Mine's a wand of webs.
We're like poking him on the side of the face the whole time. Like,
Nox's is a wand of web.
Nice.
Yep. And then we got Fike's scimitar.
Fike's scimitar is a scimitar of speed.
Haha, I knew it.
Ooh.
It is a +2 scimitar. And if you use your action to make attacks with it, you can use your bonus action to make an additional attack with the weapon.
That's a fast boy.
Yes.
It's a fast boy right there.
So you can make your 2 attacks as an action, and then you can choose to use your bonus action to make another single attack. And it is a scimitar, so it does a d6 of damage, and it is +2 to attack and damage rolls. It does require attunement.
And then
And your staff.
I mean, you called it a staff of frost, so I assume that
It is a staff of frost. As in the DMG. The staff, so you gain resistance to cold damage while you hold the staff. Requires attunement by a druid, sorcerer, warlock, or wizard. The staff has 10 charges. While holding it, you can use an action to expend 1 or more of its charges to cast one of the following spells from it using your spell save DC. 5 charges, you can cast Cone of Cold. 1 charge, you can cast Fog Cloud. 4 charges for Ice Storm, or 4 charges for Wall of Ice. The staff regains 1d6 plus 4 expended charges daily at dawn. If you expend the last charge, roll a d20 on a 1. The staff turns to water and is destroyed.
Hey DM, I have a
Yes.
question. So when I used the cloak of useful items,
Yes.
and I made a steel mirror.
Yes.
How much gold pieces wise is that mirror?
It should be in the player's handbook, actually. In the items, the adventuring gear section, I think.
So
10.
So it's just a regular mirror.
Yeah, it's just a regular steel mirror.
Polished
It costs
steel
5
mirror.
GP normally.
Yes.
Okay.
There you go.
I would like to find a crystal ball or a steel mirror, because I don't think the other thing...
Well, if
I
you
don't
want
think
to
I
do
can find
shopping,
the
we're
other
going to
thing.
do that at the beginning of next session.
Yeah, I'm letting you know what I want to do.
I
'cause-
figured, yeah, you're going to want
Yeah,
to
we
do that at
definitely
some
have a
point.
shopping
You'll be able to procure that at the beginning of next episode.
All right.
Um,
I'm going to pull Shango aside once Cortana's isolates him from when she needs to go put on her very nice armor.
Lastly, obviously, the carpet is a flying carpet.
Ooh, right. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Of course. You don't forget
Yeah, I
that.
forgot about that too.
The carpet is a flying carpet. It is of the 6-foot by 9-foot variety, has a capacity of 800 pounds, and a fly speed of 30 feet.
Got a whole new world in the chat. Thanks, Renka.
Yeah, of course. 600 pounds, you said?
800 pounds.
Oh, 800.
Yes.
How much do we all weigh?
Everybody be on a diet.
I'm like 245 alone. No, 265. So I'm almost 300.
That's not counting your adamantine breastplate, which weighs quite a bit.
Everything goes in the bag.
Where is it?
So you're probably closer to 300 pounds.
315, baby, solid.
with your armor on and everything.
You need to fly next to the carpet. You cast the fly spell.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
You also have your cloak of the bat, so
That's
Yeah,
true.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
you
can
got your
fly
cloak.
10 feet faster.
You only travel at night.
yeah,
you
but
can
you
use
don't
your
have
cloak.
use of your hands when you're using the cloak of the bat. You have to hold them out like this.
True.
Yeah.
But I
I'd
can
say
only
like
use it
tether
during
him
the
like
night.
an
And
air,
you can
like a
only use
parasail.
it in you can only essentially he has to do like the Batman from Dark Knight, like that
The
kind
hands
of
on.
thing,
Like Arkham
and he can
Asylum.
only do it in darkness. Actually, it doesn't work in sunlight.
Just
So
travel
I'm
at
going to
night.
be getting rid of that soon. As soon as we get out of here.
What did you trade for that?
Be useful.
The useful items, yeah.
The
I mean,
robe of useful items, yeah.
it could have given us like gems. That was really the only other useful thing it had that we could have used at that moment. But it would have lost its value if I took those, and he knew that I took those. So I had to.
Anyway, before we close the session, Fike, you wanted to get Shango alone.
Yeah, just wait for
As
Sounds like a
Cortanis went to
powwow.
go change into her armor.
I don't know exactly what I want to say to you, but I have words for you, and words on the surface that hold more weight than down here. But I'm going to ask you to please stop threatening Noxus. I understand if he turns that what we're going to have to do, and I'm willing to do that, but there's no need to say it outright. It's just plain rude.
I don't mean threaten him. I merely would like him to be aware of the reactions his actions might cause.
He is aware. You've made it perfectly clear. And by the way, Cortanis is not stepping in that fucking room with that goddamn thing.
I'm not planning on forcing her to do so.
You hold a lot of sway over her. And I kind of just look around. In the midst of all this slaving, you don't think that the power dynamic and the relationship that you have with her is a little bit one-sided? I understand her task and all that, but I had to say something. Otherwise, I couldn't sleep for myself.
And good of you it is to share your thoughts. The hopes I have that it is observable that I give her as much freedom as she's willing to take. I do not consider her my property in any means. Neither do I consider myself standing above any of you.
I've seen you silence her with a glance. That's... It's not right. I understand. Once we get to the surface, I have a plan that I need your help with. You're not going to like it.
Plan to what end, if I may ask?
I just roll up my sleeve a little bit. I'm going to right a wrong. How it's ancient, not just old.
I very much hope to be able to be of assistance to right any wrong.
Now give me your rod. How many charges do you need, boy? You want the juice? I got the juice.
Fill me up, man.
I thought he was going to profess his love to him at that moment.
Give me all you got.
And with Fike grasping firmly on Shango's rod, we will end the session.
That's for you, Ronka. Yeah, that's sweet sub, right? It was worth that
We
sweet
fade to
sub.
black, and Hallelujah playing in the background. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Here
Oh,
comes the cure wounds. Hallelujah.
I love those sessions where I love those sessions where I don't even roll any dice.
It's like I sub, I get prawn. That's right. That's right. Highest quality.
So you guys got your cool ass rewards for putting the Empress back in her throne.
Yeah, that's fucking
Thanks.
dope.
She liked you, Fike.
He shouldn't have. I was an asshole, like always.
No, but you fulfilled the prophecy and put her back on the throne. The bearer of
takes
light.
Bearer of light.
Bearer of light. Do I have to put that now? Like alias bearer of light? Does that go
Down here?
Yes.
Quick other little housekeeping things I'll do real quick. Shango, you get, because I didn't want to waste time with this, I assume you're probably going to be taking Circle of Teleportation when you get to 5th level, when you get 5th level spells.
Well, yeah, once I get the 5th level spells.
Yeah, they give you the circle coordinates and stuff for a Circle of Teleportation here in Lemnele to put in your book.
Ooh.
So that when you can cast it,
Yeah.
you will be able to transport here should you wish. One of the things that the guy shows you at the library, which we'll play out next session, but
Fucking nerd!
Nerds!
Nerd.
So you don't have the spell yet, but you have that address or whatever.
I got the address so I can...
Yes.
Guys, we can come back to the Underdark whenever we want.
Ever you want.
Anytime from...
Look at Nox.
I can also
Poor Nox wants
toothpicks
nothing
underneath
more
my
than to see the
toenails.
sun.
I can put toothpicks
No,
underneath my
none.
toenails and kick a wall.
You only go to the Underdark once.
I could cover myself in peanut butter and jump into a rat pit.
Yeah.
I could set my hair on fire.
Lemnele is
run
nice.
and then run into an oil
As
factory.
long as we stay in the city and we don't go anywhere else.
Like
Not
going to
just as cool
Cabo.
as that.
Like you don't go outside the resort.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I mean, Noxus would be okay with meeting those drow ladies again, but other than that, no. He wants to see the sun.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely telling Sable what you did down here.
Wait, who's Sable?
My God.
Sable was the drow woman you stupped right before we left.
We only met once. It was nothing. I was drunk. You made me do it.
I mean,
We gotta be worried about that power dynamic in their relationship, Shango.
Apparently.
Yeah.
You said I'd have fun. I mean, I did, but
All right. So let's give out XP. Shango, you got 18 experience. So did Fike and Nox. Biro, you got 15, and Cortanus, you got 20. It was a Cortanus heavy
Sorry.
episode.
Yeah.
And now I have to, like,
At the end of last
make sure my Wild Mount group never watches this campaign from here on out. Spoilers.
can we go
Shango,
back and
did
watch
you
the
level?
VOD now?
Or Biro, did you?
Yes, you can watch the VOD now.
Yes!
Where did it go?
Bureau, did you level? I think he's muted.
Oh no.
Piero.
He is muted.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yes, I did level.
Ah,
I
and
rolled the
Shango, you
wrong-
leveled as well?
Yes, I just
Ooh.
realized I rolled the wrong hit dice. Maybe.
No, a sorcerer is a d6.
No, he's thinking
Yeah,
Are you
about
but I
going-
wanted to take.
Going
I wanted
cleric.
to
Oh.
take a level in cleric.
You're going to take a level in cleric?
Yes. Are they D8?
Those are a d8.
Twin guiding bolts. Here we come.
Nice.
As long as you have the first one, you have advantage on the second one.
Well, you can't hit the same target when you twin a spell.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know
it
shit
needs
about
to be-
sorcerers. That was just revealed.
So you know how to multi-class on the Roll20 character sheet, right, Shango?
I will figure it out.
If you go up
The gear.
in the little gear, yeah, and you check
Second
mark
class.
second class cleric,
Okay.
yeah, level 1, boom, there you go.
Nice.
All right, so we
Yeah,
have
good one.
two
Okay, cool.
multi-classers now.
Yes, you officially have 2 multi-classers now. Well,
if he doesn't,
that
go
makes you
knowledge
level
cleric,
9, yeah,
I'll be
Bureau?
upset.
Yes.
At level 9, your Song of Rest goes up to a d8. Your proficiency bonus goes up to +4. You learn a new spell, and you get access to 5th level spells.
Yeah, and I'm going to switch out. I'm going to drop Hold Person and pick up Sending.
Okay.
And then for my 5th level spell, I'm trying to decide between Mass Cure Wounds, Raise Dead, and Teleportation Circle.
Well, Shango, are you taking Teleportation Circle?
I don't have 5th level spell since I took the cleric one.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, oh yeah, you don't have access to 5th level spells. You have a 5th level spell slot.
Yeah, I got the 5th level spell slot, but I can't
Oh.
take a 5th level spell.
So if you wanted to take that, you could, Bureau.
Yeah.
And then Shango, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Recorded.
Yeah, I'll take that.
You gonna take Teleportation Circle?
Yep.
All right. So you have the Teleportation Circle for Lemnele. And then you have, I believe, you get 2 others when you take the spell, right?
Let's see.
Consult the book.
Cast a spell.
Circle
When
of
you first gain the ability to cast a spell, you learn the sigil sequence for 2 destinations, determined by the GM.
determined by me.
Yes.
Okay. Hold on. Is it Teleportation Circle or Circle of Teleportation?
Teleportation Circle.
That's why it's not in the seas. Too far. Teleportation Circle. When you first gain the ability, you learn the sigil sequences for 2 destinations on the material plane, determined by the DM. You can learn additional sigil sequences during your adventures. You can commit a new sigil sequence to memory after studying it for 1 minute. You can create a permanent teleportation circle by casting the spell in the same location every day for 1 year. You need to use the circle to teleport when you cast the spell in this way. Or you do not need to use the circle to teleport when you cast the spell in this way. Alright. You're from... I'd say you'd know the one from the Bard College in Western.
Okay.
College of the White Duke.
Ooh.
And... what else makes sense for you?
Upper Duke. No, I'm kidding.
Different Duke.
Where...
Duke?
What do you think would make sense, Bureau?
Singorn?
That's the thing. I don't know if they would give it to you or not.
Singorn or Ramon are probably the strongest options.
Yeah, like they're equal. It's just like with how things are for you in Singorn.
Yeah.
Like if they would trust you.
What about Craghammer since he was there with the Thunderbrands?
Sure.
Oh, actually, yeah, I'd say that makes sense. So that you could quickly return once you had
What's her
news
name?
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
So we'll say that. So you got one in Western at the College of the White Duke, and you get one. So you have now one in Lemnale and one in Craghammer at the Thunderbrands.
3.
Sweet.
Huh.
We can go 3 places, guys.
So we'll say that it was
Great.
you who was pulled aside and given the teleportation sigil for Lemnale.
Da-da-da.
Awesome.
Fucking nerds!
Hey,
Who said that?
What spells are you taking,
Nervous
Shango?
Sword. Ooh, ooh.
Oh wait, that's right. You took a
Right.
level in cleric.
Yeah, so
I'm assuming.
all of the spells.
Yeah. So all the
He's gonna-
spells. Well, all
He's
the
gonna
first.
go. He's gonna go Grave Cleric. He's going Grave.
Grave. He doesn't go knowledge cleric.
Yeah, domain, grave domain, right, Shango?
Now this is really
Yeah,
going to
of
turn
course.
into
Yeah.
Wild Mount.
Yeah, he's gonna go after the Wild Mother.
So I'm assuming
Okay.
you're taking the Tempest
Tempest.
domain. Yeah.
Yep.
So your domain spells are Fog Cloud and Thunderwave.
Yep.
You gain proficiency with martial weapons and heavy armor.
Heavy armor. And medium armor from being a cleric.
Wow.
The
He's a
multi-class.
Blinged out Shango.
Well,
Wango, Shango, Tango.
Is that what they're calling it now?
apparently,
Yes, indeed. That is what
unfortunately.
On a serious note, Shango, is there any spells you want me to put into White Man's Rod so you have it?
they're calling. You mean Shango's Rod?
And now that he can
Yeah.
cast.
Hey, you can call me White Man.
Is your hair white?
Yes, it was white.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
I'll leave
good.
White Mane for the bedroom. How about that?
I like that.
Whew.
I mean, with leveling cleric, I can throw the healing spells in there myself from now on.
So you get to prepare
Or you could get
outside
some
of your
from Bureau
domain
now.
spells. You get to prepare your cleric level, which is 1, plus your wisdom modifier.
Yep.
So get Bureau to cast some
cleric spells.
disguise self for you sometime in the future.
Ooh, that's a good idea, actually.
The only problem being that the target is self.
Well, no,
Yeah,
it's you're
if it's in
you
the
were
rug,
putting
and
it
he
into.
cast it, and he's self.
He essentially has a spell storing item.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The
Cast-
spell
yeah.
storing. But and at some point I'll figure out how to manage my spells in Roll20.
I can't sneak attack with this scimitar, right?
Yeah, you can.
Hey, good.
It's a finesse and light weapon.
Anything that's finesse, you can sneak attack with.
Anything, I think it's I think it's finesse and light or something like that. But I believe a scimitar is finesse and light. So, and as a rogue,
As a rouge.
sneak attack. Once per turn, you can deal an creature you hit with an attack if you have advantage on the roll. The attack must use a finesse or a ranged weapon. And it is a finesse weapon.
It's going to be a finesse thrown weapon.
I think I'll stop the stream now. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight. Freem, thanks so much for stopping by. Rocklick, thank you so much for the raid. Obviously, Ronka Mator, thank you so much for that sub. You all are fucking amazing. Thanks for stopping by tonight. We will see you next week, hopefully.
Go get some sleep.
Shit. Wait, yes? What's next week? Shit. What date is that?
You're out next week.
13,
the
14,
18th.
15.
It's
No,
the
no,
18th.
no. It's the week after
18th.
that. I'm out. Okay, so I will see you next week. Night,
So
everybody.
the
I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice holder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice holder. I'm proud to be in whatever sitch, like singing on Twitch or playing D&D. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice holder. You may call me obsessive, but I just border on being a collector and being a dragon that sits atop my treasure. That's so shiny. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice holder, and my partners love me for it. I'm a natural 20 when it comes to being me. I'm a time traveler, so Alonzi. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice holder.